sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. Happy Sunday, I guess. Oh, I hope you're having a good Sunday anyway. Hi, Logan. How are you? Hi, Jenny. I just want to say how much I truly appreciate the channel and community. Thank you, Jenny. You guys, for anyone knows that we did like a 5-hour live last night on Sebastian and watched different creators and different things like that to do with Sebastian, and talked about Christopher Proudfoot, which we'll talk very little about him today, but I do want to say a couple things about that. Anyways, oops, sorry. Hey, Ben, how are you? On there, stupid. I know I clicked through them all already. Now, let's see. Hi, Miss Wee Lassie and James. Hi, James. Citizen Sleuths in the house. Let's see here. Ben. Angel. Hey, Angel. Elizabeth's in the house. Turn the page. Cool name. Hey, Lacey. How are you? Lacey, what are you doing here? Aspen's not here. Just teasing you on there. And of course, Streamlabs is in the house. Oh, there's Miranda. I'm about to cough. I'm still trying to get over this flu. So if I have to sometimes mute myself for a second, it's because I'm having a coughing fit or something. Yeah. Sammy Shane, love you. Thank you guys. If you guys, could hit the like button, that would be great. Again, it really, at the end of the day, becomes about bringing and keeping awareness with the Sebastian case. Now, obviously, he's still missing. I'm not even sure what. Sorry, I'm not even sure what day we're on. 60 something. Does anyone know how many days it has been now? Is it like 68 or 69? Yeah. Thank you. And for anyone that doesn't know, I'm from Vancouver, Canada. This side of the Pacific Coast side. Thank you very much. Yeah. I know it's been over 2 months because the 26th was 2 months. So 26 and there was 30 days. Well, mind you, February only had, well, it was a leap year, so it had 29 days. Anyways, I'm not really sure. It's somewhere 68 or 68. Is it? Thank you, James. Yeah. I figured only because the reason why I remembered that was because I remember one of the lives I was watching, I think yesterday. No, I had 68 today. Then a couple days ago said 66. Yeah. I still can't honestly believe. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I honestly can't believe that it's been this long. Like, seriously. At first, when this case came about, I was thinking, like he was just hiding somewhere and that they would find him, within the next day, that type of thing, Then as some days went on, I'm like, okay, um, thinking the worst, because that's typically what happens in missing people's cases, mostly with the younger children, teens. But this is obviously a different case because, he's a high functioning autistic teen. Um, but typically with teen cases, most of them are runaways and they're found. Yeah. But because somebody that has more of special needs and stuff like that, and they're used to a schedule, and they're used to things being a certain way, and we've heard that, you know, um, from the families and stuff like that. I don't know. Then you start thinking that he had died. Okay, like that. Maybe something bad happened to him. He had died. Um, I was still always hopeful with this case that somebody either had taken him. Um, I looked around for the pedos in the area. Um, but what has been so confusing with this case is I'm a teen Logan G32. I'm a teenager with disabilities. What type of disabilities do you have, Logan? Um, that's Miss. I'm gonna call you Lassie. Can I say that, or Miss Lassie, or Miss? Just to shorten it up. Hi, Lynn. How are you? Hi, Lisa. Hi. Oh, there's Charmaine. Hey, Charmaine. If you're bored, let me know and I'll pop you on up here if you want to. Don't have to. Charmaine was with us last night for a little bit. Lassie is fine. Okay. What has confused, I think, most of us with this case is that there literally has been nothing to show nothing. I mean, that's really the simplest thing about this all, is that no matter what way you look at it, from an abduction side, that he left side, that any particular family member might have been involved at some point, that, because your thoughts, of course, are thinking about all those different things. Hey, Miss Dog Lover. It's a syndrome called Kabuki. You're gonna make me Google that, aren't you? Kabuki. I'm gonna have to Google that for a second. Let's see. What is Kabuki syndrome? Kabuki syndrome is a rare congenital disorder, meaning that a child is born with the condition. Children with Kabuki syndrome usually have distinctive facial features, mild to moderate mental impairment, and growth problems. Okay, just looking at that right now. Never ever heard of that. And well, I'm sure there's a ton that I've never heard of and stuff like that. Well, anyways, welcome and thank you for being here, Logan. Hi, Crime Sleuthin. How are you? I'm still curious about the heat signal pickup in the woods that turned out to be a mannequin. How did it put off heat? Any clue? Oh, I remember hearing about the mannequin and just thinking, didn't overly like. I just thought it was weird, you know, that that was from the tape recording, um, and yeah, so that there was like, I think it was like the one police officer saying that there's somebody over there, and then it ends up being a mannequin, um, that somebody has in the woods. Besides hearing it, really, besides thinking it was weird, that's pretty much all I thought about it. Haven't thought about it again, really, till I'm reading your comment, to be honest with you. So if anybody else has any thoughts on that, um, right, in the sun signs show it retain heat. Um, for hours later, Lassie saying, my son has Klippel. I'm not even going to pronounce that second word because I'll butcher it. Weber syndrome, another super rare. You know what? Actually, my husband, now that you guys, like, we're all talking about this, my husband actually has Poland's um, syndrome, or whatever you want. I think it's called Poland syndrome. My actually husband has Poland syndrome. I think it's something like when maybe the umbilical cord or something gets maybe tied around and it stunts like the growth. So my husband's one hand is actually a little bit smaller than the other hand, and he doesn't have what you would call like a like how men have two boobies, two titties. Um, he only has one. The other one looks kind of like one, but it's just really man hair that's there. And so, yeah, so he calls his, let's see, his, I'm trying to think, his left hand is the regular, I'll say the regular hand. His right hand, he calls it his precision hand. And I can tell too, like it gives him a slight little twist in his back. I could see that. But it's one of those things that if you look it up, like a lot of some stars and that have it as well, celebrities and stuff, but it's not really a well-known thing. So when you're at a doctor and you say Poland's, and then they're like, what is it? Like they don't even know. Because it's not one of those things that they know much about it. Um, it started a bit as a project about, I, I started a bit of a project about birth syndromes. Oh, did ya? On there. So yeah, so now that you say that, source, I'm a bit out of the loop. Please, could you do a quick summary of what's going on and your thoughts? Yeah, I'll get to that in just a sec, Miss Dog Lover. Um, there's no evidence. Okay. Um, there's no evidence he left the house that night or the morning. So how did someone abduct him from the house? No. So um, that's just okay. So let's revisit this case. So basically, according to, well, okay, yeah, let's kind of revisit this for a second here. So Saturday, he's at Costco. Um, Going into Sunday, what Katie has said. So everything, when I say something, it's because it's out of either Katie's mouth, um, Seth's mouth, or Christopher's mouth, and say TBI or whatever. Okay, so Katie says that they woke up laughing, that basically she made breakfast. Fun fact, she says, made breakfast. That Sebastian had been talking to a family member on the phone and was bragging, and that the her niece, I believe, their niece, I think the other word was their niece, because I believe it's Christopher Proudfoot, something like their niece had called and asked to come pick them up. And then, so that was the, like their niece or whatever had called to ask to come pick them up. And then next thing Katie says is like that they went to BJ's. And that's when he had a colossal popcorn. And this is where with Katie, everything was always about pulling teeth just to get the actual information. And even still, it's sporadic because we actually don't know when this niece was dropped off unless somebody's heard it by now, you know. So BJ's, then they came home, she said, because they had got some snacks. So again, don't know when this niece was dropped off. So got some snacks, came home. She never said that in Nancy Grace, but she said it to Chronicles of Olivia. Then they went back out to bowling, and then they went out to dinner. Okay. So again, at dinner time, it was only the two of them. And that's the footage that Seth has seen himself of Sebastian, of the last time that he's seen Sebastian. Now, it has been said by Seth's PI, and so we've heard different things about the trash can. We've heard them say, like, we've heard Seth say that he couldn't make out that it was Sebastian. So I had asked him when he was on this show if by chance he could make out a figure. And he said that, yes, he could see that there was a figure, but he couldn't make out that it was Sebastian. But it seems like I constantly keep hearing them using that. So it almost seems like the last time that Sebastian was seen was taking the trash out. And we don't really have a specific time, but I'm gonna probably guess if they left the roadhouse at like 6:30, I think it was, somewhere in that 6:30, 7 o'clock, takes about 12 minutes to get home from the Texas Road Steakhouse. So then and remember, Katie has never said anything about the phone call. The only person that even talked about Christopher's phone call with Katie that night has been Christopher. Katie has never once spoken about that phone call. According to Katie, that Sebastian was in his room playing and that she was sitting like on the couch or whatever closest to his room. Um, so that's when it goes from 9:45. Well, I'm just going to use 9:45, but Christopher said 9:43 to 9:46 is when the phone call happened. And remember, these are timelines from them, okay? It's not from TBI, it's from them. And so not so 9:45, we'll just call it, to I think it was close to 12 o'clock, like 11:45, 11:47, somewhere in there. you know Katie and Christopher are having this 2 hour and 15-minute whatever conversation. Now, Katie says at 10 o'clock that she hears a thud coming from Sebastian's room. And she's like, Sebastian, did you fall out of bed? And he says, no, ma'am. And she says, I don't care what you're doing in there, but get yourself to bed. And so obviously, and I finally heard Christopher Proudfoot finally one time, just not too long ago, say that he was on the phone during that time, like when the thud happened. And I was like, about time. Like, why was it never mentioned before? But again, it's been like pulling teeth. But Christopher Proudfoot, you guys know he's been very vocal right from the beginning. Not from the beginning, because they were told not to like go to the media and stuff like that at the start. So, okay, so we have to give some forgiveness there, okay, guys? Because, when someone's not used to a circumstance of a child going missing, and then you have these authorities saying, it's probably not a good idea. So I give them grace on that, because Christopher Proudfoot, they talked to the Duchess. Now, they're most of us, okay, we're wondering why they went on a YouTuber, but no offense to the Duchess. Um, I'm sorry, but why would Sebastian call Katie ma'am? Just because that's a very, like, I'm from Canada and we don't use that term at all. You got people in the States in certain parts, you guys use it all day long. So you can tell because, Christopher Proudfoot says the word ma'am, even when they're talking to Nancy Grace, yes, ma'am. So obviously in Hendersonville, Tennessee, there, you guys must say the word ma'am, and other states as well. We don't use it here in Canada. In fact, we more take offense to that term, just because it makes someone sound old. So when people would call me ma'am when I was in my 20s, I'm like, that sounds like an old thing to say. But understandably, the states use that term in a lot of your guys' states over there. Hi, Halfpint. Hi, guys. So anyways, so that's close to 12. Then, of course, Christopher Proudfoot says, uh, basically go put the dogs up and get yourself, go to sleep type of thing. So that was close to 12. The next thing Katie says is that, she wakes up to go wake up Sebastian at 6 o'clock and he's just not there. That she, thinks perhaps he's making something. So let me stop this for a second. Um, One sec. Let me pull up. Do I still have it open? Um, uh, da, 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 da. Okay. So, do I got one of those little man things? Oh, here. Whoops. Whoops. Ah, here, I'll put you back. Give me my little man. Let's get that off of there for a second. Um, okay, so this is the home here, right? So, Sebastian's room would be the one right here. Wait, can you guys see that? Okay, you guys can. Okay, perfect. Let me go back to it then. Okay, so Sebastian's room would be here. When Faith, the Chris's daughter, would come, her room is the back room behind this one. Kitty's and Christopher's room is at the back, where that sunroom is at the back side. Okay, so Katie would legitimately have to go through, like the kitchen, in a sense, or bypass the kitchen to get to Sebastian's room. It's that simple. But who knows, right? I mean, it's one of those things too. You sometimes you give people forgiveness because, while you're walking by the kitchen, wouldn't you have seen him? But, I mean, she could have went just blindly and just went straight ahead, wasn't even thinking about it, and was like, wait, Sebastian? Like, Sebastian, where are you? Like, what the heck? Right? So she says that she checks, the rooms, the da-da-da, the closets, and, basically has said, basically in one interview at 3 minutes and another interview 1 minute. Again, forgiveness a bit somewhere, right? Um, like sometimes people's memories at the time joggle a bit, and you have to have a little bit of forgiveness for that, because it's kind of like all of us. We're not perfect. We don't do everything in a certain order all the time, or our memory jogs a bit. After telling it one time, you might remember something else, like about the thud, for instance. So, anyways, so she does that, checks all the rooms, goes outside. Sebastian can't find him, gets in her vehicle, she calls Chris, says that, that some choice words she said, that Sebastian is not here. And she gets in her vehicle, according to Katie. Remember, this is all according to these guys. Gets in her vehicle. She looks around the neighborhood as she's driving over to the school, which is 0.6 kilometers away, like literally a couple of minutes away. She's gone apparently for about 10-15 minutes. According to a neighbor, from other YouTubers, according to the neighbor, that, everything basically, like Katie had said, had lined up. That Sebastian's lights went out at 9 something, Kate, around close to 12. The lights go out in the living room and stuff like that. So who knows? That's hearsay. But anyway, so Katie spends about 15 minutes. She's all in a panic, right? According to what she's saying. Then she's on the phone with Christopher, and Christopher does a three-way call, and because she's hysterical, he calls the dispatch, because he says you don't just call the 911, because whatever the reason was again. Anyways, then so he calls, well, she's on the phone, so basically, but he's the one calling. She's probably, like I said, maybe she's on mute because she's hysterically whatever, who knows. Either way, it's a three-way call. And within, Christopher says, get back home. They're going to be there within 10 minutes. And again, so we know the timeline, according to TBI, is pretty much at 6:30 is when the phone call had come in. And, that's really where it ends. Like that space, that is pretty much, I think I gave you everything that I could possibly think of about how it went. um then Seth, they had messaged Seth at a time, and Seth had said it before, can't remember what time exactly that was at anymore, but anyways, Seth gets there, he gets off work, he sees that he has a message and a phone call or whatever from Christopher Proudfoot, because he never talks to Katie. He only talks to Christopher Proudfoot, when they're communicating. And so he gets to the house at 8 o'clock in the morning, to the house right here, Chris and Katie's. And Seth makes a comment in some of his interviews that he's done that um, whatever her name is, Bowersox, Christopher's mother was there, Seth said, when she arrived. He said he didn't know how long she had been there for, but just that she was there when she arrived. I know that there's been a rumor, and I don't know where it ever started, about some Bowersox car being seen at the beach school. You know, I know that there was that rumor. Anyways, that's the gist of it. And I'm just gonna now just take a look, if you don't mind. Uh, we don't say that here in Ohio. Yeah, it's a southern thing for sure. Um, I'm shocked what's being said about Sebastian's parents. I don't know. I don't fully know what's going on with that angel. I really try not to pay attention to the drama, and I don't try to partake in that stuff about the drama and stuff like that. I've always okay. There's definitely oddities for sure. Um, I'm my personal opinion about this is um, Christopher Proudfoot. You can't trust him worth nothing. Okay, what comes out of his mouth? You take everything with a grain of salt, knowing that he just simply lies. He lies because he's narcissistic and egotistical. Now, I personally felt that none of the parents had anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, and that's up to the TBI, FBI, whoever's going to get involved to figure that part out. My thing was always trying to understand what could have happened to Sebastian, you know, and what would be the most likely thing out of all this. And no matter what you do, it's like doing a full circle and realizing that there's just no answer. Legit, there's like not an answer. Why? Because there's not one thing that tells us that he left the home, or if he did leave the home, there's nothing on video to show that he did. So you're left being left at the house. Hence why, I mean, there's people out there that are just going to say that frickin' the parents did it anyway, or the stepdad did it. And then there's going to be people going, well, I mean, if there's no video, like the parents must have had something to do with it, Katie or Christopher and stuff like that. I honestly don't get that vibe myself, to be honest with you. I've listened, like Christopher Proudfoot, like I said, I mean, he's shamed himself enough. Honestly, every time he opens his mouth, he looks more and more like a bigger tool, like an idiot every time he opens up his mouth. I don't think he realizes that, though. I don't think he truly understands the perception from the public. But what was crazy about that, I want to say, actually, I'll come back to him in a minute. Don't like talking about him quite yet, but he might have said it because she might have been rude. Um, but he might have said it because she might have been rude. No, I don't think so on that one, Logan. It's just a common thing for them to use the word ma'am. Um, did you fall out of your bed? No, ma'am. That doesn't seem unreasonable. But again, we're only going by Katie's and Christopher's and Seth's and everybody's stuff, right? That's the only thing we have to go on. Besides neighbors that have been, speaking out or giving information as well. And, again, some of the YouTubers have talked with neighbors, and whatever you guys deem as credible or not. I haven't spoken to any neighbors myself. I've only heard some, like I listened to a little bit of Cluminati. Was it Cluminati? Yeah, when he was on there. I listened to a little bit of that last night. And what it was the strangest thing. I'll come back to that though. In the South, it's considered a respect, right? Yeah. Katie sounds like a rude person. I believe Sebastian needed to treat her like a queen because he said yes, ma'am. I just think it's a very common thing myself, Logan, with that one. Now the Mr. Chris thing, I don't get all. Hold on, I'm gonna have to. Mom is key only because she's the only adult. That whole evening and night, says she thinks someone's got him. Stepdad says he went out the front door and poured and vanished. Hey Ann, how are ya? That's just it. That's just it, right? Is that no matter what, they're convinced that Sebastian just left out that front door there, and that seems to be their only course of action. And only later on did Katie say something like, well, maybe he was taken, you know. At first it was just like Sebastian left, Sebastian left, Sebastian left. Then all of a sudden, about a month into it, then all of a sudden her tune kind of changed on that. um the 3-hour phone call was both of their alibis maybe meeting halfway. Just saying. Yeah, if you're talking about the one on Cluminati, um, to honestly listen to that narcissistic man, Christopher Proudfoot, honestly, this is why to me it's like Christopher Proudfoot, honestly, to me, he's an attention narcissistic personality. After listening to him like over and over again, okay, at first, I agree. You're trying to get information, you know? You're trying to get information about what happened to Sebastian, where the truth is, and stuff like that. And then, after he embarrassed himself after the Nancy Grace thing, you know, I knew the little worm would pop back up on, YouTube channels and creators. And my thing is this: Christopher Proudfoot, he doesn't have anything to offer anymore. Honestly, he just all he whenever you listen to the live streams, you know, he might sit there and claim, well, because they're asking me questions. Honestly, his ego is preceding himself. He has 5 failed marriages, let alone the one with Katie that was probably going to be happening, and stuff like that. He has a proven track record that he is inconsistent and tells lies, and he plays games. Christopher is the total epitome of somebody that is a control freak, that he likes to think that he's smarter than other people. Hence why, when, this one here, um, 1 second here, um, settings. No, I don't want to go to settings. Present. Window. This one. Okay. So you guys know this one. Have you both taken the polygraph tests? And if so, what were the results? Yes, and the results are passed. Okay. So what kind of game are you playing, Christopher Proudfoot? Obviously, you don't give two shits about Sebastian, to me, because you're too busy trying to play head games with people, because he will literally tell you, like, this is the joke of it. Well, I didn't say who passed the test. I just said yes, that, but I didn't say who or when, right? Who plays games in the midst of a child missing? Who thinks to play head games? Because he's full of shit. He walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. He ain't no effing swan. He's just not. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. And he's so far, like, if they could stack shit that high, seriously, Christopher Proudfoot, you're right near the top. Because that's what comes out of his mouth. All he cares about is how people are perceiving him. Honestly, the conversations, listening to him talk to Terry Lynn, and the way he spoke to her too, right? It just falls right in line with what people have pulled from the woodwork about Christopher Proudfoot. Okay. I mean, he thinks he's a better person than he is. Well, I'm here to come and ground you back down to earth, because you are not a good person, Christopher Proudfoot. And it's what is getting me probably the most is the fact that this child is missing. And he wants to always keep putting the focus somehow to say it's about Sebastian. And yet all he cares about is what, his ego, his image, and how he's being deemed as a monster. Well, probably because you are a monster, like you're a step monster. From talking about abusing Sebastian, you might, maybe the law doesn't deem it as abusing, but I'm sure there's more than just that simple, oh, I hit him with a belt one time, and he made sure one time, with his clothes on type of thing, but only once. Liar, liar. You're a liar. Anyways, so I feel Chris is well, he's on the defensive because he put himself there. To be honest with you, he could have taken the high road, but no, he had to take the low road, and feed into people and start messaging in Facebooks talking about, you know, about cement and a body and cement and, basically coming, he, like I said, all you have to do is listen to the guy. And it's so obvious that he's arrogant. He has whatever anger issues. He literally called himself an asshole. Why? Because you're a big one, right? And he literally, it's like he's proud to say that. He was he was loving it when Terry Lynn was basically giving her sarcasm and putting him, in his spot. He was just like, ah, I love this. Give me some more, Terry. Give me some more. What else you got? Oh, wink, wink, Terry. Oh, we should meet up. Yeah, we should have done this in person, Terry. Uh, on there. Angel agreed, but unfortunately, CP style is an offensive, defensive. That's the problem, right? You know, it's about Sebastian, but Christopher cannot get past, like, meaning the whole GoFundMe stuff, guys. Right? That's what pissed off Christopher Proudfoot, along with family members going into chats and smashing him. Ooh, I'm sorry, your ego. It's not about your ego. It's not about anyone's ego. It was about Sebastian. That was it. So Christopher was all pissy about that because he felt like the pact was broken, that they had a pact, that they were supposed to, you know, talk about things and stuff like that. But, this is where the cracks in the wood really come out. But he cared about that instead of just caring about, what, I don't give a shit about this stuff because we're here to worry about Sebastian. No, he keeps saying it, but honestly, have they shown it? I don't know. And these are just my opinions, by the way, okay? You guys can all have your own on how you feel about it. Angel says Seth's a passive aggressive personality. If CP went, says he went out the front door, I bet my bottom dollar the kid went out a different door. Right, Lisa? I know. All the doors but the front were locked. All the doors but the front were locked. No, that doesn't really make sense. Meaning, you can open up a sliding door. Doesn't matter if it's locked, you can open up a sliding door. The garage, okay, so you hit a button. All garages have that. They have the remote, and then you can hit a button, but that's going to make a big sound. The door, the mother said that, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Katie said that there was 2 doors that had locks, and he knew the codes to it, but he didn't know the code for the garage. And I want to say that the other door would have been the one beside the garage, perhaps. But the front door, you have to, I don't even know exactly, to be honest. I mean, I remember my twin having a door where you had to punch in numbers, to lock it, like you opened up the door, and then like it automatically locked when you came in. Oh, or did you have to set the alarm? Oh, yeah, I can't remember now. I can't remember. I know it was said, and I'd have to go back and listen to that. Couldn't agree more. Okay, Chris is a very mean man. I agree. I agree with that statement. Hi, Bev is me. He can be as innocent as he can, but he's still not. Right, well, that's just it, right? That's my thing. He can be as innocent all he want, but you know what? He's never going to live down the the public with him, or like they better move and kind of hide away, you know, to somewhere where nobody knows them really. And because honestly, he's shameful. He's shameless. And I really wish that creators, you know, well, there's the one channel, Cluminati, I noticed. They were a bunch of Katie and Chris lovers in there. I could see when I was watching that 3 hour thing. It was almost weird and strange. But hey, you know what? They support Chris and Katie, whatever. All the power to them, eh? It was weird. It was a weird thing to me, personally. Um, but whatever. Now, what was I going to say about that? I was going to say something about that. Oh, uh, Christopher Proudfoot. So when he's speaking, again, like I didn't listen to the whole 3 hour thing. I only listened to literally 20 minutes. That's the most that I could stomach because honestly, there's nothing he has more to offer. He just doesn't. And if he does, are you going to believe what he says? You can only take him with a grain of salt because he's been a proven liar. Oh, and thank you, Ben. After listen, just don't chat. Huh. Like some people, yeah, yeah, yeah. Not everyone likes to chat. Some people just come in to watch and stuff like, oh shoot, you guys all must be bored. There's like 150 people in here. Can you guys all smash that like button though? And don't do it for me. Just honestly, do it for Sebastian and keeping the story out there. That's the main thing I want. I mean, I could have easily moved on from this story if I want to, type of thing, because there's a ton of stories going on right now. But I don't want to, you know. I want to keep Sebastian's story out there. I'd like to see it hopefully come to a good end. Um, I'm praying that that person in the picture is Sebastian. SW, are you Ray Jones' friend? Hi, Robin. I just got the notification. Isn't that strange? I don't know what YouTube does anymore, honestly, with notifications. Um, let's see here. I'm not even sure if Charmaine answered me back earlier. A lot of stuff that being said should have been kept private. Yeah, I know you're not a Seth lover in a sense, Angel. Um, and so I kind of, I get what you're saying, but honestly, I'm all about somebody doing them. Seth's the father. If he wants to say whatever information he wants to, so be it. He's the father. Um, if Christopher Proudfoot wants to say stuff that they want to or whatever, again, it's like a person is in charge of their own thoughts and action. Nobody else can control that. So, in a sense, I'm not in their shoes. So, I'm not against a person speaking their mind and from their heart. I would rather listen to Seth any day over Christopher. I'll tell you that much by like 100%. Well, I'd probably give Christopher now about not even, probably 1% now. Um, versus I probably would have given him about maybe 20% before. I'd rather listen to someone that I find sincere and honest than someone that's a manipulator and deceptive. None of his parents have kept him safe. If you can't keep your kids safe, you don't deserve the right to parent this young man. I hope Sebastian's safe and loved today. Thank you, APRN35. Um, I think that the more the time has gone on, we've seen definitely things that aren't so pretty in Sebastian's life, is what it's seeming like, from the Proudfoot home. Um, I really can't speak. I know that there's a couple of things out there with Seth as well. I'm sure, like anyone, right? He ain't no saint. I'm not no saint. Everyone probably watching has done something they're probably not proud of or whatever. But there's a difference, between this whole looking for Sebastian, between Seth and between the Proudfoots. And I can relate to someone that is doing what the epitome of what a parent should be doing. I can't even, I don't know. Like, you know, yes, a parent is supposed to keep a child safe. That is what our job is to do. keep our children as safe as possible. But can we stop everything from happening to children? Absolutely not. Right? Maybe a child accidentally falls out of, a boat, type of thing, and something tragic happens. Maybe a child is just playing and then some car swerves into their yard and hits child, right? We can only do what we can do realistically. So if Sebastian left that home while his mom was sleeping, she couldn't have controlled that. Now, why did Sebastian leave the home is a different story. Now, if it's a result of, you know, abuse or anything like that, um, who knows what the story is truly behind it all. But let's say there was nothing wrong and he was just being a teen and wanted to sneak out and go whatever. A parent can't control that. I mean, that would be unrealistic to think that while you're sleeping, that you can stop your kid. What are you supposed to do? Bar the doors and windows? That's not realistic, right? But yes, our job is to diligently protect our children, to take care of them. If they need therapy or help, we're supposed to, provide that for them if they need it. Give them as much love and care as you can. I don't know the story about Sebastian, but what we've been listening to hasn't been good things, according to some neighbors that have spoke up about Christopher's yelling, really loud, or spraying him with a hose, if that's true or not, or basically throwing his mattress because he's tired of the pee smell, hitting him. Christopher Proudfoot to me is what I would deem as that a-hole dad that I wouldn't want for a father myself. I can't speak too much about Katie, to be honest with you. I don't know enough about Katie. Besides, I don't like, I'm not exactly myself, no pun intended. I'm not exactly proud of what I've been seeing with Katie and Christopher at all when it comes to Sebastian's case. And for all I care, they could go flock off because it's about Sebastian and it's not about them any, like, it's like for them to say what happened, right? We're only going to get so much information. Other than that, the TBI and the Sumner County, those people are the ones that are going to dig for the truth the best that they can. And then if perhaps a civilian happens to see Sebastian and that is Sebastian in the picture, that's because we're doing our job as a community in the True Crime Sleuth, trying to help out and do the best that we can do, at the end of the day. Hi, Sharon. How are you? So, I mean, to me, it's still about being realistic. But I just think from a perception point of view that Christopher Proudfoot should just shut up, honestly. People should not give him any airtime. He doesn't have anything to offer anymore. Everything he talks about, I mean, people can keep asking him the same ass questions over and over again. And you might find out that, like many of his other interviews, his things change. Like, for instance, let's talk about when he said that he wasn't there on February 1st, okay? Or that February 1st they left, that he hadn't been home since the beginning of February. And then the actual number was said, I think it was by Katie, February 1st, okay? And then when he's on a different whole interview, I think it was Terry Lindsay's like, I never said February 1st. No, I did not. I never said, no, Katie did. Yeah, Katie did. But she said that in a different interview. But you didn't know that probably. Or couldn't remember that. Could you, Christopher? Yeah, Christopher, right? So when you guys are listening to him talking on, I think it was, hold on, not Illuminati, Crime Lines and Alibis, and The Neighbor, or something like that. They're playing like The Neighbor or whatever it was, where they playing a recording or the neighbors talking and stuff like that. Like the neighbor said, well, about 2 weeks prior to Sebastian vanishing, that the Proudfoots were, say, in the Texas. Now, she did say, it's because I know someone that works there. And she was saying how it was third-hand information that 2 weeks prior that Christopher and that were in the roadhouse, and he got all pissed off or something because they didn't make something right or didn't have something, whatever it was. Who knows? Again, third-hand information, but it did kind of remind me when Christopher is saying to Terry Lynn, I never said it was February 1st. No, I did not. Nope. I said it was the beginning of February. I didn't say it was first. No. Katie said it was the first on Smiley's World, right? So maybe it was more the first week, and that would make sense about the 2 weeks, you know? Just saying. All I know is we really can't go anymore um, with the information, honestly, besides new information coming out. And we ain't going to get that from Christopher Proudfoot, okay? Like I said, because he's so inconsistent and because he's such a narcissistic manipulator and he plays games with people and he thinks he's smart and he enjoys it. I've never heard someone laugh so much during interviews during the time that a child's missing as he has. It's like a big joke to him. And okay, that's what I was gonna say. Right? So I think when I clicked on Cluminati, that it was at the point when he was pretending to be a different voice. And I'm like, and people in chat are going, is this Chris? So apparently he was pretending to be a few different voices. Who the F plays games like that? Yeah, I know. He doesn't remember what he said on Nancy Grace. So he's like, therefore, I'm not going to answer that question. I want you, Christopher Proudfoot. Actually, I don't want you, but, I want you to bring your big fat mouth up here. Go freaking put some duct tape on it. But who the heck sits there, calls into the show, pretends to be a different voice, like, oh yeah, I got some mustard and grits and yeah, so some child's missing, yeah, and people are blaming the parents. Is that what's going on? Why would they blame the parents? Shut that. Like, who does that? And it's like they're having a effing laugh about it. Like, who does that? Like, how is that not sick and twisted? That he's literally calling into show pretending to be some, dumbass hick that puts mustard and grits on his thing or whatever, pretending to be some person from a movie or some whatever it was. Someone said he was trying to be Kermie or I don't know, but anyways. But who would do something like that at the expense of that? No, I haven't watched that one myself. So let me see what the survey thing says here. I said, okay, did Sebastian leave on his own? 70% said no, 10% said yes, 5 abducted, 16 somewhere with a family member. Okay, let's get this off the screen. Let's go back to that other picture actually. Okay. Actually, okay. Let's go to share screen. I feel like my husband's making dinner. Okay. Let's go to this here. Well, we'll make it bigger, I suppose. Okay. So I was just spending some time looking at these runners, okay? Just because they look so similar. But you know what, guys? To me, they are not the same sneaker. Does that mean that it's not Sebastian still? No. It just means that perhaps Sebastian did leave out without shoes on. And whoever he's with, if that's him, that he literally picked out a brand that he's typically wears, but maybe just a little bit different style. But this is not the same shoe. It's a very darn good lookalike, and possibly the same brand even, but it's not the same shoe. As you can tell let me just go back. As you can tell here, right? Okay, this sole got the little squares going down it, whatever, that you can perfectly see. This is a higher, right? The plastic or the sole. This sole is different. Okay, this is one that's higher in depth wise. If you look at the eyelets and the shoes, this is a wider front here. So besides the bottom here, so unless for some reason he miraculously pulled this shoe as tight as that shoe in the middle, because look at the eyelets and the strings on this one. And then when you look at it at the one in the picture, it's just not the same. Okay. Like the sole, first of all, is the dead giveaway that it's not when I really look at it. Very similar shoes though. Like the oops. Oh, I was looking at the hair here on this one. Let me go back. 1 second. Go back. Okay, why aren't you going back? Okay, this one I want. Anyways, so to me, I deem these as maybe possibly the same brand, but just a different style of shoe. So perhaps when he's out there, if that is him, that he got new shoes. Well, that's just the thing. Is that now this is the thing, right? When people say barefoot, are you because to me, that doesn't mean he didn't have socks on. It just means he didn't have shoes on, according to the parents. Yeah? 1 second, I got a cough. And I just got to talk to my husband for 1 sec, guys. Yeah, that's just it. Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't be barefooted. So, meaning if let's just say this is Sebastian, right? Let's just say it is. I mean, obviously, if the kid is maybe used to a certain brand of running shoes, perhaps he picked out something similar. If this is him, I mean, what's the chance? Okay, let's go to the actual picture. To be honest with you, oh, actually, let's just quickly go to the one that I have like this. Number no, one. What I was looking at here was really a couple things. Really, okay. Now I noticed on the kid that's in that picture. I'm not sure if Sebastian grew a zit on his face, but there's definitely a blemish or something right here on his face. I tried to see if it was a mole or something he had on his face or anything like that, but I don't see one really. So I don't know if he grew a zit, this child that's in that picture, but you can definitely see where it looks like there's like a blemish there or something. Anyways, I was more looking at like, for instance, okay, let's just take a look at Sebastian's hair here, how it's kind of cut. Well, it's not like it's not similar to what's going on with his hair here. It's given that same kind of, whatever you want to call it, freaking. It's like we'll call it it's like a graph in a sense, and then Sebastian's hair kind of comes down like that. So if you look at the kid that's in that photo, um, again, it kind of does the same thing. There's a lot of similarities. Um, there's a lot of similarities to Sebastian's hair, to me in this. And I just think to myself, yes, we all have doppelgangers for sure. But I mean, what's the chances? I mean, there could be, right? Could be a chance. But what's the chances that, a kid pretty much looks identical to Sebastian, lengthwise, lanky arm wise, shoe wise, glasses wise, hair wise, nose wise, even? What's the chances to me that somebody else has glasses, similar hair, same lanky kind of body that Sebastian has? Um, similar brand of shoes, if not the same brand, but just different, whatever. It's not implausible, but if Seth thinks it's Sebastian, I'm I'm gonna agree without it just being because Seth. I'm really hoping. What you got, honey? What you got, husband?
Marinated chicken.
Oh,
I don't
yo,
know what flavor it is because they didn't say what flavor it was. So it's
you got husband mashed
a
potatoes,
guess.
chicken. Okay, I'll put that off to the side for a minute. It's nice and hot though. I'm gonna try to eat it today before. Whoops, the gravy's gonna. Mm. Okay, I'll put you right here. Good husband. Love your husband. All right. Thanks, Ben. What do you maybe I don't on those slippers? Who knows? Who knows? All we know is that it's, you know, 68 days in and wasn't wearing shoes. Right. I knew what you were saying there, Elizabeth. WC, welcome to the channel. If she could have just if she could have just got well, the thing is, that's the fam chat. Let me just turn that off. Okay. So the thing is, right? Like this is what we were talking about yesterday, you guys, and you guys tell me what you guys think, because there is footage, right? They do have footage, and they would not show Seth. They were told not to show Seth because, they don't want to, of course, impede the investigation. Now, we haven't heard anything back, which I find very odd that we haven't heard, like the flashlight video, which wasn't a flashlight video. They gotta check. Yeah, I just thought that was very tactless. That like they're literally all laughing, like it's some sort of joke about the stepdad calling in, knowing it's stepdad. You'd have to be an idiot not to know it was Christopher. Like within seconds of listening to his voice, you could tell it was Christopher. I mean, he's been on enough panels. He doesn't know how to shut his mouth. But that was the most tactless thing to me, to literally watch this step parent pretending to be like you said, and people are like laughing about it, like it's some sort of effing joke. Like, is that not absurd, sick, twisted? Like I wish that nobody would give him any airtime anymore. He's useless now. He's of no value. He's of no value to females. He's of no value to, honestly, Sebastian. If anything, I really wish that he never existed in Sebastian's life, to be honest, because he sounds, and the evidence shows, that he's just a real shit person. I wouldn't wish any child to be around him. Like, his ego precedes him immensely. And okay, so as for the face pic, so again, there's footage. And according to the person that posted it, so Seth's PI had talked to both the people, the person that posted it and the person that took the picture. Now, apparently she was in a rush. Apparently she just took a snapshot. Why? And why? They're either blurry. Like, what is it with people? Like, if you felt like you saw Sebastian, but at least, you know what, I don't want to take away from the person, but what is it with every time that there's a picture? Like, well, here's their ear, here's a blurry picture, like it never fails, it seems like all you're thinking of is that Sebastian. If if I saw that and I thought it was Sebastian, not only I this is maybe the difference between me and others and stuff like that. I know that if I thought that was Sebastian and I knew about the case, I ain't letting that kid go anywhere before I'm calling 911. If I even had an inkling that that was Sebastian and it looked so similar like this kid does here, I would not be removing myself from any vicinity at all until I yelled for help around me and called the police at the same time. That's what blows me away. Oh, well, I think that might be Sebastian. Ah, okay, well, you know what? But some people, when they take a picture, they're probably more convinced that it just is a look-alike. And you know what? I'll send it in. But so imagine this. Imagine if that truly is Sebastian. And that's something that could have been done then and there, if that is Sebastian. So again, kind of like what Pascal had asked, or I'd put out there as well. Well, why has no one come forward to say, hey, that's me, the blondie and that lady? Maybe the person has now. Why has no mother come forward to say, hey, that's my kid? No, just to look alike, not my kid. Why haven't we heard that? Why have we not heard that Sebastian, that's not him? They sure came out with the flashlight video fast enough to tell us that what you see, you're not seeing the whole picture. So why hasn't that been done by now? Too much time has gone on now. So to me, there's something I would think credible about this picture and about Sebastian. I would love to hope and pray for the sake of Sebastian still being alive, because I do have hope for Sebastian. I absolutely have hope for Sebastian. I think CB has also been making these prank calls on several channels, planting false information. He proved he was using a voice changer that night. Honestly, I called him the Big D yesterday, and I'm going to call him it again today. Christopher Proudfoot, you should be ashamed of yourself, and you are a big douche. And I agree. When you called yourself an asshole, I agree with that as well. What an embarrassment, honestly. Like, this man, everyone, please, like, seriously, I wish you guys would all tag everything, cancel Christopher Proudfoot. Seriously, mute Christopher Proudfoot, what we were all saying last night, guys? Right? He has no value at all to this case. He's proven to be a liar, full of shit. Anyone that has a narcissistic personality like that, they're the ones that think that they're in the control, that they're smarter than other people. And again, won't shock me if he is calling into shows doing that. Who even thinks to play games about polygraph tests, right? Well, I didn't say who took the polygraph test. No, but we can say who's an idiot. He is disgusting. It's disgusting. My son is a great cook. I can't with some of the stuff going around. All I know is that I'm not into the drama shit of it, okay? People want to start, like, it'd be a frosty day in heck before I'd sit there and let Christopher Proudfoot try to prank call or, type of thing and act like a total douche and not be totally turned off and pissed off. But yet it was a joke. No, he's a joke. He's a joke of a man, a joke of a father, joke of a husband. He's just a joke. And I want the whole world to know, Christopher Proudfoot, that you are a joke. You're an embarrassment to yourself, embarrassment to the community you live in. People want you guys to move away. Neighbors do not like you, obviously. And again, all he does is want to go on shows. He doesn't so much care about the Sebastian part as much as he does to try to make it seem like, what, I'm not a monster. I'm just a level-headed, reasonable person. I know I'm brash, and I know I'm abrupt, and I know I'm an asshole, and I know I'm this. But hey, I'm telling the truth. But hey, in that truth, I'm telling you a bunch of lies too. But don't get me wrong, I'm still telling you guys the truth. Just believe me, I'm a better person than what you guys think I am and stuff like that. Shut the front door. Like, seriously. The garbage that strews out of that man's mouth is embarrassing. How embarrassing. Seth needs to get off the meds, get rid of Tony, and hire back the real PIs. Stay away from Chris and Katie. Get a lawyer. Sue for the full custody neglect. Abuse that if he wants the truth. Abuse that if he wants the truth. He could be doing that, actually. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, one of our lawyer friends had said that about, because you could sue for try to, ask for full custody and stuff like that during this time. And then if he gets it, the answers will have to come to him. But anyways, you know, Seth is going to do what Seth is going to do. And he might not be making all the right, things in a sense and stuff like that. I do believe that he's doing the best that he can. I believe that all of them, Christopher, not Sebastian, sorry, Christopher, Seth, and Katie, anyone to me thrown into the midst of something like this is, it's not something that how to deal with it. It's not like there's a book written on it, you know. So off at the starting gate, you have Christopher, who came off as a controlling personality, who overspoke Katie. The reason why the public was pissed off, we didn't mind hearing from Christopher, but we wanted to hear from the mother that was shouting from the rooftop saying, please, you guys, I need your help. Nope, she was more than willing to let Christopher do the talking, and that's where it all really backfired for them. And then when they did the stupid video where they're holding hands, that even only added fuel to the fire. It added fuel to the fire about why they would go on a small channel if they're trying to bring awareness. And Christopher, so full of shit again, what does he say to that? Well, no, to Terry Lynn. No, I think that everyone should know about it. Yeah, stupid answer. He went on there because it was said that somebody knew the Proudfoots, that knew the Duchess. And so I guess they agreed. But again, you really care about your son, eh? Your stepson there, and Katie, you're being the mother. Oh, let's just go on a 5K YouTube channel. No offense to the Duchess. I want to make that loud and clear, right? It is what it is. That's what they did. But really, my first thought is I ain't going to no YouTube channel. My first thought is to go to the actual news channels. The people that can put it out massively fast worldwide right away. Do you know what I mean? A 5K channel that's going to get how many views versus millions of people watching the actual news? Like when someone's missing, we can make shit happen fast in the true crime community. That we can. We can do a lot of stuff. But I ain't going to no YouTube channel to start off with when my kid's missing. I'd be like right there. Come on, Fox. Come on, whoever. Like, let me tell. But we didn't hear that. We never saw Katie or Christopher shouting from the rooftops. So they made themselves look bad by how they handled things, regardless if people feel like there's involvement from them or not. They made themselves look bad. And Christopher then went on Smiley's and acted like a total, jerk off. And he went on Smiley's. Thank you for subscribing, Karen, by the way. Totally came off like he was full of rage and anger and stuff like that. And then it just went downhill from there. Okay? It just went downhill. Then he was caught with the whole polygraph lie thing and stuff like that, and then he was putting his tail between his legs on Nancy Grace like he was this good little boy at church. Like, yes, ma'am. Yeah, no, ma'am. Shut up, Chris. Okay? You look like an idiot yourself. Anyways, I cannot believe that a step-parent literally is calling up, trying to pretend like he's a whole different voice beyond the other stuff of his double talking lies and stuff like that. It's disgusting. I can't even fathom that a stepdad would even think to do that. But what does that tell you that he is doing that? It tells you he doesn't care about Sebastian. He cares about what's being said. he cares about that stuff, you know. Oh, I heard people are blaming the parents. Why is that, you think? Because you're a tool and an idiot, and obviously you reap what you sow. You know, he's clueless. Katie, where's your son? Why isn't this photo going out to the major networks? Oh, it is. It is. Um, I mean, I've seen it. Like, I mean, I was just looking at it today. It like sometimes, Lisa, these things don't happen till a couple days later for sure. But they're making their way out there. Sometimes I'll see a station 6 days later going, which I just did today, like the Independent or whatever, going, new photo emerges, da, 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 da. And because they like, I mean, for the most part, I mean, they do kind of have to vet certain things when it comes, like, I know with like JBL, right? Like KJB, um, that, like they won't use photos unless they talk to like the source, like to verify and stuff like that. So sometimes they have a holdback on that stuff. I think they're not out because Ellie is worried about him being harmed. And probably he's making this all about himself. Yeah. It's embarrassing. Honestly. I don't even feel embarrassed for him because he's doing a great job himself. Do I think it's real? The photo? If you're asking about the photo, do I believe the photo's real? Yeah, it's not photoshopped. They got video footage. The LE does. They got video footage, so right. He would never get her. Seth isn't in pain meds anymore. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in like Seth kind of made a comment about like when he was trying to do stuff with Christopher Proudfoot, when they were supposed to like team up and stuff. Then he's like, I don't like this team, Katie and Christopher and team Sebastian. Well, they actually made the teams. We didn't. They actually did. Of course there's gonna be sides. You got douchebag on the one side, and you got a father who's actually trying to find his son. But they're the ones that made the teams, really. I mean, heck, we would have liked it if they were all just working together trying to find Sebastian. It's their butts that couldn't make it work together. And that's still the case to this day. Right now. They can't seem to work together. Right? Every time Christopher Proudfoot opens up his mouth, just we need to talk after the show with the PIs and work on this together. And what happens? Right? Christopher gets offended by something again. The next thing you know, they're not working together. Like the adults need to adult up and work together. So it's not like we created the divide. They literally created the divide. That's the part I don't think that they understand. Hey, Green Eyes. You think he was buried on the Friday the 23rd? How's that possible? If he's literally on camera on the 26th. Like, if Seth's seen the video at the Texas Roadhouse and the person from the Texas Roadhouse seen them inside there. I'm not sure why you would think that if that's... I mean, you can think what you want, of course, but he's literally on video on the 26th. There is that can figure CPS isn't telling Seth about the complaints, that they are afraid Seth will try to hurt CP. I don't know enough about the CP stuff, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know how that... let me just put it this way. I never had to deal with no freaking CPS in my lifetime. That's because I know how to take care of my son. Why would Sebastian go missing all of a sudden? Well, again, if what we're hearing is half the truth, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Sebastian did leave. I mean, it's one of those things that in your head, because there's no answers, There's no video. There's no nothing to show Sebastian left the house. One could plausibly think that perhaps Katie handed him off during her, round of, like, during the time that she said she went to go look for him. I guess that would be plausible. We don't know. That's just it, right? Is that Sebastian could have snuck out because it was so dark, not be seen, but darn well that the police would have camera footage from any camera around that block if a car would have come and picked him up. Like, what are the chances? It would be like being stealth, right? I get he's wearing black, but how is it there's just no footage of him? So either he went out by vehicle, or he's Houdini. To me, CP comes across as saying Sebastian chose to walk out the front door in the middle of the night. Then he vanished off the front porch. And if Ali finds him, fine. If not, yeah, absolutely, Anne. I 100% agree on there. Well, nothing's happened really. The only thing that's happened, which is not new news right now, is, of course, this picture and waiting to hear back. Seth believes it's Sebastian. Well, Seth believes it is, and I, just looking at it without Seth's opinion, because I came to my conclusion already, I think that there's a good likelihood that this is very likely. This could be Sebastian. From the glasses, to the hair, to the body, to the similar shoes that perhaps are the same brand, but they're not quite similar. I've been looking at the different photos. It's a very if Seth looks at his own child and thinks that this is his own child, as well on top of me looking at it, thinking it for myself, I'm going to think that this is a pretty highly likely that this is true because we haven't heard anything to say it's not true. Why now? They would have shut this down, you would think. They shut down the flashlight video. So why wouldn't they shut this down, right? Do you think, I think you meant story. Yeah, it's hard to have respect for KP when she went out once to look for her missing child and then to leave the house she knows. Right. I mean, I personally, yeah, I'm going to judge from what I see, and what I've seen I don't like. It's nothing I would do as a mother, I'll tell you that much. I'm not Katie, but, I have my opinion like anybody else. And from what I've seen, you'd never ever catch me sitting there freaking acting like we're doing searches and stuff like that when really it's like, oh, here's a flyer. Well, let's print off some more flyers, But hey, you know what? It's their son, their child. It's not ours. We're just here to bring awareness in hopes that Sebastian is out there because we're doing our part. But I would not even I'm Seth, okay? I would be doing what Seth is doing. I'm not that person that gives a shit what comes out of my mouth. If I need help, I'm going to beg people for help and plead with them. Please help me find my son. I'm not even going to listen to that. Please say, don't, maybe you shouldn't go to the media. No. Like, I would be in such panic beyond belief. I would just want to scream from the rooftops, please help me find my son. Because you all know that usually, remember, just like the show, the 48 hours, right? You need things to happen fast, because the likelihood after that becomes a lot more dimmer. Wouldn't see me acting that way, Katie Proudfoot. Yes, arrogant, condescending, disrespectful, rude, does nothing but talk about himself, me. Yes, he loves it when a female gives him attitude. It turns him on, makes him jizz whiz, pretty much. He gets off on that stuff because he is it. He's a narcissistic personality. Saturday, yeah, we can name one thing Saturday, and we can name a ton of things on Sunday. So Saturday, he went to Costco. They already showed video footage of that. Sunday, right? Sunday is a full day. It's a Whopper day. Sunday's full of different things. Sunday they go to BJ's, they come back home, they go to the bowling alley, they go to the Texas Roadhouse, you know, all these cameras that are on people's homes, and that would know that. Bottom line is, so yes, we can. So if somebody's seen on camera on the 26th, I don't know why anyone would think that he was dead before that date. If they think that he's dead, it wouldn't make sense. That would defy all logic and everything, to be honest with you. You would have to deceive every camera on the block and stuff like that, right? It's just not going to happen. His own dad seen him at the Texas Roadhouse. The waitress from the Texas Roadhouse posted, right? They have video footage, but what and of who? Well, enough video footage that they didn't show it to Seth, right? So there is something going on there. You know why Seth isn't talking? Well, first of all, because he has somebody telling him not to talk anymore. And when he does talk, he's going on with Tony Mathis. Like, so tomorrow night, he'll be on News Nation. And then he'll be on Nancy Grace, both of them, on Tuesday as well. So, you know, Seth is doing, I think, what he feels is right, but he's probably being told, you know, by Tony Mathis to basically say certain things, but don't say much of anything either. And if anybody does the talking, I'll do the talking for you, you know? However Seth's handling it, you know, regardless, it's up to him how he's handling it. But because nothing has been said about this photo, no parents come forward to say, hey, that's my kid, take the photo down, right? It's already been told that it's not photoshopped. Oh, where's that picture that I have actually? 1 second, stop screen. Where's that one picture I have? Let me find it. Oh, this one. Okay, this was on SF Investigates, this one, okay? So, let me take this down. Let me make it bigger, okay? So, somebody went down to the grandfather mountain, whatever what we call it, visitor information place, to look at the scenery. And the scenery is really the same, right? I mean, depending on the lighting, you can see this one's lighter, but it's, if you look, really, dark green tree. There's a darker tree behind here, darker tree behind here, right? So it is the same scenery that's going on. You can see here, you know, so you can see it. Oh my God. I only put it on 20 seconds. I gotta make it a bit different. Hold on. I gotta slow down chat because nothing worse than when you're way behind. So I didn't expect this many people today. So I'm gonna do it for 45 seconds, guys. Sorry, but I got to. Or else I'm just gonna be way far behind. Anyway, so CP takes every chance to poke at Seth too. He said, at least I worked the other day. CP takes every chance to poke at Seth too. Oh God, yeah. I mean, he's just a jerk. Jerk. All right, give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. You know what? Actually, what I'm gonna do. Stop screen. Whoops. Hi. Up close in person now. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is, just because I want to eat my dinner while it's halfway hot. Okay. I want to eat a little bit of it. I hate eating my dinner when it's really cold. I know I can eat it out, but it's not the same. But I want to play, because I never got to listen to the rest of Pascal's show from the other day. So I'm just going to play from a certain point, and then I'm just going to try to eat and listen, and then we can come back and you guys can talk all and chat amongst yourselves as well. You know, just voice your opinions. Again, just keep it respectful, eh? That's all I ask over here. show the Costco video you saw. Honestly, dude, I'm not probably digging that up. To be honest, it's out there. You can go Google it. I remember watching it. And I remember I had a bitch of a time trying to find it. And I remember seeing it a couple times. But it was one of those ones that I like at the time. I was just like, well, who cares? Because we already know. Okay, so it was kind of like, well, yeah, because it was near the start of the case, right? With the whole Costco thing. But it wasn't Costco he was at. It was BJ's he was at on Sunday. So to me, the 25th didn't matter because they already had footage of that. So I'm going to say, compare what video? Well, hey, if you want to find it for me and send it to my email, go right ahead. I'm not going to do that right now because I remember that I went back to go try to find it and I was having a bitch at the time and I just didn't care enough about that video. So I just don't feel like, I'm just being honest, I just don't feel like trying to Google it and try to find that video. So, hey, if you have a link for it and want to send it to the email, I'll gladly play it. But right now, I'm going to play Pascal's and I'm going to eat my dinner that my husband made for me. Fair enough? Fair enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The one that, okay, I'll go back to that. Just remind me, Wild Firefly. Okay. And Green Eyes, if you want me to play that video, just, like I said, find it and send me the link. Okay, wait, where's Pascal? That's a really sad thing about those 3 guys in Mexico too, guys? That's so horrible. The 2 brothers and the friend from the US that were murdered. That's really sad. Thank you.
Yeah. I see.
You know how doctors get.
Yeah, I do.
they're kind of like your parent. Like, why didn't you show up? Yeah, no, you should have been here.
Yeah,
didn't, and I have to deal with the consequences. But to me, it was worth it.
No, I agree 100%. I got 2 questions because they're 2 very good questions in my personal opinion. One of them is, Seth, now's a good time to reach out to politicians, especially any senator or congressman, including North Carolina. I completely agree with this. Is there any movement, or have you guys thought about this as a possibility or as an angle?
Politicians are tricky, Pascal, and I'll tell you the way that generally works when you get politicians involved is they reach out to law enforcement. They don't want to lose any votes. They don't want anybody to think they don't back the blue. So they reach out. They tell them that they've been getting some pressure from the family, want to make sure that they're working hard, that they've got all the resources they need. They're doing a good job. Law enforcement assures them that they've got all the entities involved that they need to figure out what happened here. And then they tell them, okay, thanks, keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate your vote in November, and then they go back to their office. And that's generally the way that works.
Okay. Well, that's trash. What about
it is?
what about legal representation? Real talk. What about legal representation? Is there anything? And I know that maybe you can't say a whole lot, but as far as pushing the envelope a little bit more, so that maybe you can get some things put in the light a little bit for you guys. We're going to say, Tony?
We can put all the pressure we need on law enforcement. I mean, I'm obviously new to this, and I'm digging in, and I'm understanding who all the players are. I clearly know who all the players are in Caleb's case. But when I get dug in a little bit and I figure out who the players are, then, hopefully at that point we'll know. Still holding out hope that I end up representing the whole family and that the goal is united. But, right now I feel like there's more information that could be coming out of them. And when I decide to turn up the heat on those guys, then you won't be the only one that knows that. They'll know it.
Okay, good. Yeah, let me know, because I really do want to know. One thing I want to piggyback off of on that particular question, which it was a very good question. So and all the questions have been fantastic. Real talk. So thank you. everybody for the questions. Have you guys tried to reach out to other media outlets, other nation, like aside from, I know that you guys have been doing News Nation and Court TV and continue pouring them with information and getting on those channels. But what about, CNN, Fox News, et cetera, all those news, national news networks that are out here? Because I feel like there's only a certain part of the world that knows about this. And of course, we need to get this more of a national level, right? Beyond.
We're going to be
beyond those outlets. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, we're going to be with Elizabeth on News Nation on Monday. We're going to be with Nancy Grace on Tuesday. We're just now starting to redefine who it is we want to do interviews with, and it won't be like it has been, at least for Seth, where he's taking interviews from everybody. It'll be a select group of podcasters, YouTubers. It'll be more national media outlets. We're going to refocus our plan on who we're going to give information to and who we're going to use to help us get the word out. We're just not going to do interviews with everybody.
Okay. Right on. I mean, I feel like tightening it up, it makes it a little bit better, right? Makes it a little bit more streamlined. I agree with that 100%. Somebody just asked this. Tawny Lee just said, may I ask why so little news coverage of Sebastian? That is a very good question, because I feel like everybody and their mama in my world, I feel like everybody and their mama knows about Sebastian's case, but it feels like even Dog the Bounty Hunter didn't know about this case until it was brought up to him. All right.
Well, I can tell you that there will be more news. There will be more media coverage. That's part of the reason that Seth brought me on. But I will shoot you straight, Pascal. I mean, a lot of these people that are watching this story, when they see a lot of this drama that's gone on, and to be completely fair, again, I had great conversations with Chris and Katie. I told Chris that he was not good on camera. I told Seth in private he was not good on camera. I told him the arguing back and forth was causing people not to want to cover the case. And that's part of my goal in getting everything cleaned up and centralized, is that I want more real media attention. But we're going to get that. It's coming. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, some tidying up, a little bit of spring cleaning doesn't hurt nobody. Especially if it means we're able to expand and get the case out there to a larger demographic, to a larger audience, to make it more nationwide, because he could be in North Carolina. I hope he really is. I hope that photo really is him, but he could be in California right now. He could be anywhere. So getting the word out there, I think, is really important. Seth, do you want to say something?
I was going to say, that's why I've asked the world to help me find my son. I need everybody. If you see something, say something. Head up, eyes open. If you see him, take a picture. That's great. Say his name. Sebastian, your dad's looking for you. And see, I mean, he's got to know that I'm looking for him. I hope that he understands that I won't stop.
He does.
Yeah.
He knows.
He most definitely does, Seth, for sure. If he's not seeing any of these videos or any of these interviews that you've done, he knows it just from the energy that you're putting out. Okay. And the prayers that you're putting out here, for real. All right. In fact, somebody just said, Seth, we met in Hendersonville. We were looking for your son. Even though you wouldn't speak with me, I still pray for you and the safe return of Sebastian every day. I continue to use my platforms to get the word out. Thank you, Steph. I do appreciate that. And of course, any opportunity, right? Of course, Flower Power just said, please take care of yourself, Seth. Okay. As your son is going to need you at 100% when he does come home. I absolutely agree. Now, something that, and there's other people that are coming in saying that they're praying for you and all that. And I just got one last question. I appreciate, Tired as a Mother, I appreciate you saying that with Seth. We pray for you. Tony, you are amazing. I absolutely agree. Okay. This is two really great people lining up and going for the greater good. Okay, going for a collected goal, which I'm very excited about. One thing Darlene just said: if this is Sebastian, do you think he's in danger? If whoever has him feels like law enforcement is getting too close. Seth, since you were down there and you just came back from North Carolina, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Sebastian is in danger right now?
Can't really tell much from the picture, but I mean, can't really tell much from the picture, but if it's Sebastian, he's alive. He's been fed. He's got clothes on.
No doubt. No doubt. And it looks like brand new shoes. It looks like brand new shoes too. If he walked out with no shoes on, he's got new shoes. But go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, and you got a lot of smart people that watch your show, and there's a reason that pieces of this investigation need to be kept close to the chest. That was a phenomenal question, and we've dealt with some things in our other case where people want to know why aren't they talking about this, that, whatever. Look, as long as there's a preservation of life component to a case, you have to keep things close to the chest that could make a potential abductor, kidnapper, whatever, nervous. Because if they get nervous, bad things happen. And the more people that talk about things and the more people that blow it all up over the world, the better the chance is that something bad could happen. So, to your question, in the picture, that child in that picture does not look scared, unhappy, in danger, or anything else. But who knows what happens when that child gets in a car and goes back to wherever it is he's being kept? Nobody knows that. So everybody has to understand the reason law enforcement keeps certain things close to the chest is nobody knows what kind of danger we could be in.
Mm-hmm. You got a point, Seth. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, he's right.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, Tony. Yeah. So here it is. I really appreciate you guys coming on and chopping it up with me and letting me know a little bit more of what's going on. I urge you to continue, of course, with the help of Tony now, because I know it's not going to be Tony all the time. It may be both of you guys together, kind of like this kind of setup from this point on. But I urge you guys to not stop, keep talking, keep saying Sebastian's name, keep showing his face, get back on that court TV and that News Nation, because they've been pushing and putting the name out there as well, putting as much effort as they can in the hope for the safe return of Sebastian. And I'm excited to see what comes of this. I will say this though too, since I got you guys here, I am hopeful that Seth, Chris, and Katie can work together in unified front, and hopefully, Tony, you're able to, if that's possible. If not, nothing.
I'll do anything to help the kid.
I'm hoping that alliance can actually happen and you can represent all three of them. But if it doesn't happen, it's all good. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean anything bad. I just understand it is the way it is right now. Okay. Again, Tony, I appreciate you for being here. Okay. Seth,
of course.
Thank you so much for being here. I know you're very, very busy. Of course, Seth. Go ahead,
Pascal,
Tony.
Doesn't Seth look good in a collared shirt?
Yeah, I love it. Looking clean, baby.
Oh, really? What I like to see is Pascal at church.
Oh, snap. Okay, you know what? There it is. You know what? You're gonna be getting some photos from me this weekend. Watch.
We didn't tell him we were wearing red tonight, did we, Pascal?
I know we didn't get the memo or nothing. Okay, just happened to be, just just luck. Okay, great minds think alike. That's all.
It's a bald guy thing.
Yeah, it is a bald guy thing. Okay, he can't relate. Out here looking like Jason Momoa. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, he's a good looking man.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I guess I could be Aquaman instead of Batman. So
there it is. There it is. Or you just be your own version of both. Okay, let's keep it real. All right, but you keep kicking ass out here. Both of you guys. Real talk. I'm excited to see where this alliance goes, and Godspeed to you both. Real talk. I'm praying for nothing but positivity and fast results here, especially with this sighting. I'm very excited about that. Very hopeful.
Thank you, Pastor.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Of course. We'll be talking soon, okay? Stay blessed.
You too, sir.
All right. Peace.
Oh, let's see here. Do I want to be that one? Oh my God, I'm blurry. It's because I moved, guys. One sec. Let me bring up that thing. One sec. It's because I had moved in. Lord, I look like a vampire. A blurry vampire. Oh, let me stare at my camera. I hate this camera. The one I had before never did this. Is it working? It's not working. Just stare at that picture for a minute. Okay, it means I have to walk away from my computer for a sec. Yeah, same. One sec, Sharon. Okay, looks better. There we go. Don't look like a vampire anymore. Huh. Anyways, hi, Bogey. How are you? Thank you again for that donation last night. By the way, appreciate that. And you said chromosomal. Did they use the word chromosomal? Was it maybe? See, I went and I took my plate into the kitchen because my husband made me a great dinner. Hee hee. And I wanted to eat it, and I was mostly listening, but I probably missed just a little bit on there. So, like I said, I know this was from a few days ago, the Pascal interview with Seth and Tony. I probably would rather see Seth with a picture of Seth with a picture of Sebastian on the front instead of the collared T-shirt. To be honest with you, I don't know. I think that there's something definitely to be said about this picture here, and it being Sebastian. So I'll be curious what kind of happens with that. What do you guys think? How many of you guys, like, I know that we did the thing, right? No, well, hold on. We did the thing last night. Just put one. How many people in chat right now think that this is actually Sebastian? I mean, the police wouldn't show Seth the footage and stuff like that because they told them not to. I mean, I think there's quite a few things here, and you can tell, like I said yesterday, they know more, like they know a little bit more than what they're telling us right now. You can tell. But how many people feel like this is Sebastian? I, for one, do. And I am praying that I'm right, because I would love to know that Sebastian is still alive. Because honestly, it's the one case that I do have the most hope for. In real, and the button down, although it looks great on him, totally disconnects from us and Sebastian and the purpose of any interview. Yeah. Well, we know it's not photoshopped. So the picture to the right is because, whether it was a YouTuber or just a person, went down to the area to take a picture. And honestly, when you look at it, right, it's the time. They have footage, right? They wouldn't need footage if there was nothing to it. There is no person that's come forward saying, no, you guys got it all wrong. That's my son. We were there. No blonde ladies come forward. It does make me question, because if that is Sebastian, right? He doesn't look like he's in, any sort of, desperate in need of help at that. Like, you know what I mean? It looks like honestly, like they're just kind of playing on the rocks. there. How many of you guys think that the lady in pink has anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, if that is Sebastian? How many think that she is just walking by? Because what you guys don't see is that there is a piece of someone's hand coming out from the left side of where the lady in pink is. So there's also another person there. So do you guys think that that person has anything to do? So just hit 1 if you guys think that that lady in pink there has something to do with the boy, regardless if it's Sebastian or not, with the boy in the picture. No, the pic's not. It's already been said that it's not. So it's already been determined that this photo is legit. You know, my belief is that she does have something. Like I would just by what I'm looking at, I feel like that she does have something to do with this whole entire picture, and that there's another person, whether it's another child or not. There's a hand that comes out from the other side, but we can't see, you know. But again, we haven't. Why have they been so willing? Like, trust me, if this had nothing to do with Sebastian at all, and everyone's talking about it, they would have told us by now. It's been out long enough that they would have said something by now, is my personal opinion. You know, you kind of look at cases and how things typically happen, and we know that they came out in a very swift and short period of time to tell us that the flashlight video wasn't flashlights. They have not done so with this picture to tell us that it's not Sebastian, which by now you would think that they would have just said, you know what, it's not Sebastian. You have a father who believes it's his son. I think kind of like what Tony Mathis, whatever, like I said, they're going to hold things to the vest. Absolutely. Who knows how far? Maybe this is some sort of, like somebody said yesterday, maybe it is some sort of freaking, you know, boy Christian whatever, what do you want to call those things? You know, I don't want to use the word cult. Just talking like, you know, when you have like the leader or the person in charge, and then you got a bunch of other kids, you know, traveling around in a van type of thing or whatever. Maybe this person didn't think at all that if this is Sebastian, that they would be spotted by some, you know, because it's different. It's different when you're in true crime, you know. So if Sebastian's out there and then this person say has him, then you think the lady was just walking by, Lainey? Could be. I mean, it could be. My vibe would be that it's not just somebody walking by, because I would find it very strange that she would literally be that close to the curb of somebody just walking by. Like when you look at the entrance to where she's standing, she's literally standing or walking right where the curb is. And yet there's a hand that comes off to the other side from somebody else. I don't know. I feel like the placement of her body, I want to include her in the picture to Sebastian, if that's Sebastian, and then the other picture. Well, that's just it. Because you know, really, or you, right? Either she has, because they're not going to tell us this. They're not going to tell us this. They're not going to tell Seth this. Right? Maybe she has and said, look, I'm the person in that picture. But you know, a friend is going to see it, that there's somebody that's going to see this picture and be like, oh, I know who that is. You know, that's going to happen at some point here. If it, that somebody, because a lot of people are into true crime. Like, even at work, when I'm talking like with the people that I work with, if I tell them I have like a true crime channel, they're like, oh, I'm into true crime too. What do you cover? And stuff like that. A lot of people are into true crime. So you would think that either this person's come forward and said, look, I was there that day, and maybe she gave info. Maybe she's part of it and hasn't come forward, But it's always, there's always talkers. That's just it, right? Just like the neighbors that live around Sebastian, there's always people that are the truth seekers, that they don't see it as being dishelpful, helping Sebastian's case by giving out information that perhaps the LE doesn't want them to give out. But it kind of reminds me of Delphi too, is that there's people that doesn't matter if they're in the system or not, okay? Because there's been contacts where that they're in the system and stuff like that, and they're feeding information, and that, they know it's wrong. We know it's wrong, but they're doing it because they think they're doing it for the better of the good. And there's always those people. It's just like the neighbors, right? They shouldn't be giving out the information, obviously, but hey, but they are. They're speaking up, Person obviously didn't like Christopher Proudfoot that was talking on crime lines and alibi, I think it is. Yeah. Let's see. Thank you for subscribing, Jason Masterson. When was the last time anyone heard from Katie? I haven't heard from Katie since the picture surfaced. Right. It's weird, right? Except for Christopher Proudfoot, you just keep, like I said, I wish people would just write hashtag cancel Christopher Proudfoot. He no longer is needed, honestly. Anything he's doing now is just repetitive, talking about the same stuff, and mostly what he wants to talk about or make jokes about is, his stepson that's missing. Let's call into shows and pretend to be a certain character. He's just, oh my God, he makes me sick. The more that goes on, the more disgusting he is as a human being, to be honest with you. I think he thinks, I don't know if it's his whole 5 marriage thing or whatever, but I think he thinks he's like a Rico Suave, when the person's a zero and they're not a hero at all. I think he believes he's the hero, whereas a lot of us see him as the zero. Typically talks to females. We all know how that goes. He's it's like it feels like he thinks that he's playing the game, that he's moving the chess pieces, when really it's just he's so transparent, to be honest. His personality is shining through, and it just keeps shining through. But to sit there and make a mockery of calling into the show on Illuminati, and to sit there and try to pretend like he's like from that whatever movie or Sling Blade or whatever it was, how disgusting, how low, how pathetic of a person do you got to be to literally, again, when people kind of made the comment about him laughing, at certain points when he's telling stuff, honestly, pretty much every time you listen to him, it's like a joke to him. No, and the thing is that he's actually the joke. He's the butt end of the joke because he's proven to be a liar. So when Green Eyes there talks about saying Seth lying, well, let's take probably a look at the score, if anything. You're probably talking about what? At least 20 on Chris's side versus maybe a couple of misspeaks or whatever on Seth's side. Huge difference. There's a huge difference. Seth didn't play around with the polygraph test. He was asked if he could take one. He said, sure. Right? And some people wanted to bash him because he fell asleep or whatever he said during it. Anyways, bottom line is, then you have game player there, Chris, who tells people that he took one, gets on Nancy Grace, admits he didn't take one, then tries to play the game of, well, I didn't say who took the test. The question was clear. Did both of you take the test and pass? Yes. And passed to both questions, right? Who plays the game at the sake of a child? Christopher Proudfoot does. He's nothing, like you said, he's useless. He's worthless. The information that he has to offer has been given. Now he's just trying to feed his own ego. And honestly, you know what? At one point, I probably would have had him on, perhaps to interview him. Honestly, he's too much of a douche. There's nothing he has to offer me, because I've already got the information. And most of it you have to take with a grain of salt because he deemed himself as a liar many times now. So what does that say, right? Then you look at his history and it's just like a big stack of manure. So he doesn't have anything to offer. Katie, you might as well go to the dentist and pull your own teeth because that's as much as you get out of Katie, honestly. So whatever. I mean, like I said, I call it karma, What comes around goes around, I'm not feeling this big boo-hoo-hoo-hoo for Katie because as a mother, I'm sorry. Her actions and hiding behind Christopher Proudfoot when you're the mother, again, right? To any person that has a child, yeah, you know what? Let me just go freaking do my nails. Oh, hey, Chris, you got that question? Yeah? More pain than I can imagine. Miss my child. Something weird about her. Something very weird about her. Then you have, to me, Seth, every day, out looking for his child, basically, putting it out there, going on all these interviews with people's channels. He's exhausted beyond belief. You don't see that same thing coming from the other corner. If anyone has Sebastian, it would be Katie's aunt who works at the autism facility in Goochland, VA. She took Katie when her mom went to prison. Okay. Hey, you know what? Green-eyed Pierre, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if at the end of the day, the truth came out that Sebastian didn't leave on his own accord and was more hidden somewhere. It wouldn't shock me at all. And if this is said Sebastian, and because the person might be so stupid, because they don't realize the power of the internet about being spotted, even though you would never want to go to a thing. Anyways, we'll see how it all plays out. Vocal with what? With talking about himself? Like he has nothing more to offer. He just doesn't. So the only thing he's vocal about is how he's the poor, that he's being deemed as a monster when he's the victim. It's not Sebastian. More vocal about what? Calling into people's shows and pretending to be somebody else? What an idiot. He's such a tool. It's like a maggot. Sorry. My personal opinion is I can't respect that man. There's nothing in me anymore usually when you find out someone lies, you kind of, okay, but when it stacks up, and then you realize just what you're dealing with the personality, which you could see from the start, but then you just watch it play out. I can't respect anyone, and I will not put on anyone on this panel that I do not respect, and honestly, like I said, he's too busy. He enjoys it when women are basically giving him lip and attitude. Like it was clear as day. Women Okay, if you're not a female, you know, males might see it, but as a female, trust me, you know when a guy is being flirty or when he thinks that he's being smart. He loved it when Terry Lynn was giving him lip and sassing him. And then he's like, next question. Yeah, I just need to get to sleep. Here, let me just give you another hour. You know, she could sit there and say, you know, you're this, you're that. And he's just like, oh, okay. What else you got? I'm game. Let's go. Come on. You know, you could just see he was turned on by it all. From a woman, you like, honestly, women know that. When they hear a guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why woman comes before man. Sorry, man. Ramen Brown, that's why I heard, but I don't know for sure on that bit of info. Not sure what you just said there, actually. She was adopted at 12, but she's still seen her mom. Seth met her mom. Okay, gotcha. Thank you guys, by the way, for all joining us. Please give the video a like and a share if you could. Keep awareness to Sebastian's case. Because honestly, if people don't, people have already dropped off from the case, or else they're just going to cover it a little bit. It looks like Sebastian isn't with either people. I'm waiting for someone instead. Thanks for re-showing this, as I had to drive and miss some. Oh yeah, no problem, right? I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're going to hear some answers soon enough, you know? Like I said, for me, it's not normal that LE hasn't debunked this, Sumner County. And right, Sumner County's in charge, not TBI. FBI, like I said, they're giving assistance, but they haven't taken over the case. To me, it seems like so. Let me say this: it's lots of times it always becomes about egos, thinking that they can handle it, they're dealing with it, they're this and stuff like that. I would like to think that in this case, that perhaps they have leads now, and it's just a matter of getting Sebastian, you know. Because I would think that any smart people would hand a case over if they've been trying and they're going nowhere fast and spinning circles. That's the whole point of teamwork. Everyone helping each other, you know. But egos always get in the way. It happened in Delphi. To me, it seems Chris' level of crazy has potentially increased since the picture came out. Almost like he's trying to create a constant explosive diversion. And perhaps, yeah. Thank you, Alina, for subscribing. Anyways, all I know is I'm going to keep covering the case. This case means a lot to us. And, you know, so I would like to hope that this is Sebastian. I feel like it is. I feel like this is one of the best likely chances for someone to have literally his body shape, his glasses, his freaking nose, basically, even though he's looking down. Similar branding of shoes, if not the same branding, but just the sneakers are a little bit different, because obviously if his shoes are at home, obviously by this point he would have had new shoes. You know, when there's no footage of Sebastian leaving, you know, it's easy to sit there to look, even though they've said, you know, that they've looked at this and looked at that. That doesn't mean it cannot come back around to Chris or Katie, you know. I mean, even we'll say Seth too, because at the end of the day, just because someone's at work doesn't mean somebody else isn't doing the dirty work, right? So it is possible. So all I'm saying is that, you know, for me, everything is still open with this myself. And when you have no sign of this child leaving on any sort of door cam and stuff like that, there's nothing, there's no car. Even that neighbor that was speaking on crime lines, even that person said, like, because the neighbors, they're all talking, right? Even they said, like, there was nothing out of the ordinary. It wasn't like some weird vehicles were on the camera and stuff like that. So, you know, if there's no weird vehicles, whose vehicle did he get in? If this is Sebastian and he feels like he's at home, you know, I was thinking it was perhaps a teacher that kind of intervened and maybe perhaps helped out in getting him out of the situation. People do that crazy shit, right? Because they think they're doing the better for the good, and their brain cells don't go all the way to the top, obviously. So we'll see how this one plays out. Hot shot, good for Granny. Yes, he said he didn't know who the lady was, and if it was his mom, he wouldn't remember what she looked like. Wait, what? I'm not sure what that meant, Lisa. He wouldn't remember what she... Yes, he said he... Huh? He should have never been given a poly with the meds and stress. He was proved... Yeah, you know what? Like I said, honestly, Seth kept his word. He took it. No man's going to sit there and freaking go on daily searches. They're going to act... Anyone that had anything to do with it, they're going to act like a Barry Morphew, or a Chris Watt, like they're going to, Scott Peterson, they're going to act like their actions don't match what they're doing. Barry Morphew's actions didn't match what was happening, right? When Barry Morphew, he only got aggressive with people when he was being attacked. He didn't give two fucks about Suzanne Morphew. Well, maybe he did. He loved her to death. Let's just put it that way. Loved her to death. Kind of like the same thing with Garrett Kurtz over there in Delphi. Loved Nicole to death. Literally, right? That's the same thing that's going on here. Christopher Proudfoot gets attacked, Yeah, despicable human being. Christopher Proudfoot, I totally hope that you watched yesterday's live or today's live. Said he wouldn't recognize her mother because it was oh, I see. That's what you were referring to. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Personally, I think she's building a defense and very well playing the victim. Think about how that household works. Could be, Lainey. In my opinion, Katie is very yeah. I'll agree with you on that word. I mean, who knows? She could also be on the spectrum herself. Well, according to her, she's not. They do say there is somewhat of a genetic, maybe, but I don't think I recall her saying like she didn't have no issues. Katie didn't have much of a role model of a mother. She was horrible. There's something odd about her behavior, though. I'm not gonna lie. There's however it comes out, there's just something to me that's always been very odd. There's something that's off with Katie to me. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it. There's just something about her interviews that just seems weird to me. And I think it just boils down to what a mother would do to what she's doing. And it just comes off as odd to me. There's something just weird about it. And I can't pinpoint it. Got nothing better to do today, troll? Well, just give me a second. I'm just going to have one more sip and then I'll boot you. All right? And then you can go run because you got nothing better to do on a Sunday. Make yourself a new name and then come back and, revisit. And then I'll boot you again. I got nothing better to do. Why are you giving us compliments, though? Why did Sunny stop dieting? She shouldn't have. Was I dieting? Did I lose pounds and I didn't know it? Because I honestly, I didn't know I was dieting. Because when I see food, I eat it. Yeah. Anyways, that's okay. I've done my drink now. Now I can boot you. 1 second. Oh, ban user, delete all comments. Bye. Have a good one. Okay, welcome back, people. I can't believe that people have literally non-existent lives. Hey, you know what? Was that Christopher Proudfoot? What do you guys think? I mean, if he's going to impersonate people, do you possibly think? Yeah? probably Christopher Proudfoot. I got nothing better to do. I can't look for Sebastian because that would make me look like I'm actually doing something now. Lainey, I don't think that KP is trying to get Faith. If it came out KP was hiding him, they would. I don't think Katie Proudfoot's is a nice person either, to be honest with you. Not after listening to Nina. Exactly like it's been a week and we have yet to hear. Right. That man is a chauvinistic pig. Absolutely. I mean, he probably ran out of words that you could have probably put there still. Oh, remember when CP's sister came into this chat and I shut her down? Just another big mouth herself. It wasn't about Sebastian. It was about how people were blaming Christopher. It wasn't about Sebastian. Whatever her name was, Melissa. Totally gave her a piece of my mind. Can't put up with that shit, really. It's about Sebastian and you're making it about your brother. Get over yourselves. Proudfoot. It's more like freaking Sadfoot, to be honest with you. Don't CP's sister work for Sumner County Sheriff's Office? That's a huge comp. There's somebody that does, Robin. I'm not really sure. It's something like that. I actually, if I cared enough, I'd probably pay attention, but I didn't. But I know it was something like that. Were they able to get camera footage from this video of Sebastian? Well, that's just it. There's cameras all over the place. So yes, they were able to get footage, but they didn't show it. And there's a good reason why they're not showing it to Seth. And then there's a good reason why they're not showing it to any of them. Because it's about Sebastian. They have to put Sebastian first. Even, like I said, I would be freaking gut-wrenched. I'd probably be kicking in some doors there down at the sheriff's office, begging, being like, no, So they know a little bit more, Seth and Mr. Tony Mathis there. They got more information than they're giving us. Not a ton more, but they got more. And you could tell by the way that he was talking in this part that I was watching today that there's a bit more, right? I mean, there's the reason why they're doing it this way. Robin. Let's see. Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben. If the picture in this is confirmed to be Sebastian, absolutely, they will be automatically, right? Because then it's over the state line. Then it becomes federal. Right? Then it becomes federal. Robin Brown suffers well and CP friendship with the department. I have no faith in Sumner County. Well, I know everyone says trust the process and stuff like that. I just feel like Sumner County had nothing to go on. Like it's like us. Like imagine though, if Sumner County felt exactly like how we're feeling, where all you do is do a circle. There's no evidence to point to this, to that. There's no video. There's no nothing. If there's no nothing, what do they have to? Where do they start? Right? I mean, they got places obviously to start, but if they find nothing, because nothing's, like nothing's showing, and maybe, like I said, right? Like you have to believe that not only are they in the family, but they've stretched obviously outwardly. But you know how it starts. You're looking at the parents first, then you start going to the siblings, the mother, all those other people. You start going to the friends, and they just work their way out. But that doesn't mean, as we know, it doesn't mean that something is either overlooked, that maybe their leads are taking them nowhere. So let's just say Sebastian's with a family member somewhere, right? Let's just say he is. You would like to think that they've already been vetted on every aspect of the families. But does that mean that somebody doesn't slip through the loops or, type of thing, that they can vet everything and stuff like that? Absolutely, right? That's why there's a lot of unsolved cases. Like you can only do as much as the information that you have to a point. And so for us, we have nothing else that we can do. Christopher Proudfoot too. He has nothing more he can add to this case, honestly, besides whatever other knowledge he has, right? Which, who cares? So if he's dumb enough to say anything more, then so be it. Because you know him, right? Well, I'm not supposed to give dates, and I can't say, I'm following what TBI says, and blah 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 blah. Horse manure, right? But bottom line is that, like I said, there's nothing more. The only thing more like out of this case is if somebody spots Sebastian, again, in the true crime community that knows of this case, or that the TBI give us an update, right? There's nothing more that can come out of whatchamacallit's mouth, Christopher Proudfoot's mouth, or Katie's, unless they know that they're involved perhaps in the disappearance of it. But I would like to think that these people aren't, narcissistic. Chris there, thinks that he's the shining star on a tree, and really he's like the dim 25-watt bulb down at the bottom type of thing. Because he's not going to get past all that, him and Katie. That's how I I have to give credit to law enforcement to know that for the most part they're doing everything that they can. And I think there's going to be something to be said about this. FBI is involved, but they're just assisting, yeah. With that info, I can post. Has been since almost the beginning. Sending us the TBI newsroom link. With that info, I can't post links, or I would share it with you. Which one? I don't know what link I have. Probably too many. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna scroll down. And hello, Scarlet. Scarlet Feather, not Scarlet Fever. Hi, Debbie. How are you? I could never leave my house if my child. Nope. And I wouldn't be taking my child's picture off my vehicle either. Right? Remember that? The Proudfoot side of the family and Katie? They took the pictures off their vehicles of Sebastian. Rockstar parents, right? Yeah. Some of those things that, you don't forget. It's like, oh, yeah, right. Didn't you guys shut down your Facebooks, basically? Seal them up, basically, so you can only see, like, just a little bit, right? All these outlets that are supposed to be to help Sebastian, and all they care about is themselves. So I'm sorry. That's all they have done is, people are coming at us. I wonder why. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a real mom would be screaming from the rooftops, Maybe that would happen. Maybe if you actually spoke up from the start, Katie, instead of hiding behind Christopher, who turned out to be just a big idiot, with a big mouth. I mean, don't get me wrong, a big mouth is always good, till it's not useful anymore. And he's not useful anymore, so he's no good no more. But, at first you don't know that, and then you figure it out. But it's like, you take off the decal of your kid. You sit there and you literally lie out of your teeth because you're too wussy to say that you were more in fear of being by yourself. Why didn't you just say the truth, Katie? Instead, acting like, well, you know what, Sebastian, he could just be anywhere. He could be 300 miles over here. He could be 500 miles, but he could just be anywhere. That's why I came up here. Because no, shut the front door, Katie. You went up there because you were scared to be alone. That's all you had to say. Most people can accept that, right? I still wouldn't probably leave. But you know what? Each to their own. But I can understand someone being fearful. Because there's a lot of lunatic freaking sleuths out there. There's a lot of lunatics out there. from these things that get crazy about cases. And they go insane in the membrane. Insane in the membrane. Katie is absolutely disconnected. You know what? I'm pretty sure that they were having a failed marriage going on, right? Her son's missing, failed marriage. She's probably, if she had nothing to do with it, she's probably a freaking zombie, to be honest with you. If literally Katie had nothing to do with it, and I'm not saying she did, but I'm telling you, she would be in zombie mode. And why would she be in zombie mode? Because I've been there myself in that zombie mode, where just everything, but not where the child's gone missing. But, imagine if she's in a shit relationship, this Christopher Proudfoot really doesn't like her child, right? Doesn't. You could tell. He's so full of it. It would just be the most amazing thing if he would just come through that door right now. The whole block would just celebrate, and I would be standing right out of the front line for Sebastian when he came home. That's me, Christopher Proudfoot, 2025 president. Shut up, guy. Like, seriously? Makes me puke when someone's being insincere. And he is so insincere. He doesn't give a shit about Christopher Proudfoot. In fact, I would almost bet that he would prefer Sebastian to be vamoose. Why would Tony Mathis be so rude to Seth? Wouldn't let him go on camera with a t-shirt on. Said he needed a color. I think in Tony Mathis's world, perhaps you should have an image. Yeah, we don't like that stuff, do we? No. Right, and you know what? You know darn well that would have come out of his mouth. He speaks despicable to females. You know darn well that he's a liar. He lies about the CP stuff. He lied about the polygraph. I mean, I could sit there and he lied about the date. He just lies. And all it is honestly, the lies that he's mostly covering are just because it makes him look bad. That's why he said that about the polygraph test. They both passed. He didn't think about the future when it was going to come bite him in the ass. He probably thought by then he would have taken a polygraph or something and could be like, see, took it, But instead, he purposely made it seem like that he had passed the polygraph as well by answering the yes to both. And he did that for ego's sake, because he thought that probably if he said yes, that it would take some of the heat off of the negative attention he was getting. Instead, he lied because he thought it was going to do something. Instead, it had a negative effect. Then he tries to portray like, well, I didn't say who took the polygraph test. I didn't say when it was taken. So technically, I didn't lie, did I? He's right. Is it raining? Not sure. Jules, I think Tony needs to let Seth dress how he wants. I think Seth should be wearing his shirt of his son like he does every darn time. That's what Seth should be doing. You know what, dude? You want to help me speak and whatever, but you don't need to polish up my shirt. No one gives a shit about your collared shirt that you didn't iron in the first place because the things are all curled underneath, okay? Nobody cares about that shirt. We would rather see you, Seth, with a picture of Sebastian on the front. And Tony Mathis, you should know better than that. Doesn't matter what the man's wearing. Either you help somebody because you want to help them, so I can understand if he says like, hey, Seth, like, let's not talk about this stuff, right? Right, I got my hair all cue there. Anyways, but anyway, I want Seth to be himself first and foremost. Seth probably was freaking uncomfortable in that stupid shirt anyway. Just be himself. Like I said, If he wants, you know, Tony Mathis, and I get it. Tony Mathis is like, why do I feel, I don't know why. So weird, that name. Anyways, but it just seems like I said, you know, I get it. I absolutely get it about trying to narrow down the channels and stuff that he's doing and going on, right? And keep it to a certain amount of content creators / news type of thing. Ones that you want, you know, like I said, power of a 10K, 11K channel here, right? Sure. Not asking for kudos. Is this channel going to get freaking 100K views off of a segment? No. Is somebody that like Pascal going to get a lot of views and stuff like that? Or, you know, yeah. T-Rev, yeah. GLR, yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it's everyone that makes a difference, though. But still, obviously, we're not clueless. We know that the bigger channels are going to get more views because they have a lot more subs. And the news is going to get everywhere fast on the news with that segment, because if it's national news, it's going to hit right across the news channels, right? All the old people are going to see it that don't even have freaking computers. They're going to see it on their news, the national news and stuff like that. Everyone has their place, is my opinion. Lacey, it's yes, news spokesperson. Yeah, I don't know. He sounds like a, I don't know. I don't know why, but whenever I hear his name, I don't know. Reminds me of some sort of, I don't know, lawyer, Mathis. It's because I know that name from a few different shows. Plus the Delphi case, there was like Christopher Mathis and I don't know, Judge Mathis and stuff like that. Yeah. What's going on? So we're really just talking about this picture again, Marianne. And you guys give me a minute again. I'll be right back, all right? Judge Mathis, right? Judge Judy. 1 sec. I agree, Wildfire. Just give me 1 more sec, guys. So I agree. First of all, you're absolutely correct, Wildfire. It does disconnect. It's kind of like, remember Carly Russell? When the lawyer comes in and starts speaking for Carly Russell? Remember that? And it's like, no. We want to hear what lying princess bitch has to say. Remember that? Right? In the Carly Russell case, when the lawyer is speaking for her, or it's just a joke. No, we want to connect. Like, if Carly Russell would have spoke for herself, for instance, there would have been more sympathizers. There still would have been people that were pissed, but the sympathy would have been there more because someone is owning up to their stuff. With Seth, or in this case, Tony Mathis, I don't want to take away from you, dude. I'm sure you're a great guy, good guy somewhere, for sure. But does it disconnect? Absolutely. I want to hear from Katie Proudfoot. I want to hear from Seth. If you're going to reach out to people and ask us for our help, then absolutely, right? We connect. And that's what I connected with this case was Sebastian first and foremost, but also with Seth and how he was doing it. Yeah, okay. I think I seen that. I think that part I actually heard in a few minutes. I don't know. I think I watched like 10, 15 minutes. He may have changed it, right? Because I remember someone saying that. So I caught about like 15, 20 minutes tops of on Illuminati, and I can't believe that, honestly, that someone would call in and pretend to be a caller and act like a total freaking idiot. But he did, and he does that. And I remember somebody saying, like, "Are you truth over feelings in chat?" I do remember that now that you say that, KK. Yeah, so thank you. So if you guys see that name, but Chris, he's a game player, right? He's going to change it up. He's a total freaking narcissistic manipulator. He's going to change it up. Isn't it? It's just, honestly, like, there should be two segments. Christopher Proudfoot segment, right? Freaking like the comedy hour in a sense, because he's such a joke. And then Sebastian, because Christopher in himself, like I said, I just am so amazed that the stepfather of a missing child literally keeps trying to play head games with people, and he thinks that he's funny. Like, it might be funny if it wasn't during a time that your stepson is, oh, I don't know, missing. But I've never seen someone giggle so much about stuff when a child's missing. Like, I understand that you're not always going to be straight faced and after time goes by, but that man's been giggling about stuff from the start. It's like when he's reminiscing about, yeah, I remember the time that I gave Sebastian. Yeah, well, that's because he lied, not many people like Sebastian. Anyways. Yeah. He is a coward. Yeah, that's the best name for him right there. He's a pussyfoot willow. Yeah. You guys know what a pussyfoot willow is, by the way? Well, that's him. That's the better name for him. Right there. That's our new name for him. Pussyfoot. That's what he is. A loudmouth now with nothing to offer. He just needs to shut his trap is what he needs to do. He would be doing himself more favors, because it's not going to work. Okay? It's literally not going to work. It's not helping the case. He's not helping the case. You know what? In all honesty, they've already shown their personalities, and now they need to put their egos all aside and just work together and make it about Sebastian. Just simply about Sebastian. You want to hate each other? Go ahead. Wait till after you're done trying to find Sebastian, mm-hmm. Yeah. I have no problem with people even saying that, because he is what he is. I mean, if he can call himself an a-hole, then so can we. And more. Like I said, a zero that thinks he's a hero. And he's just embarrassing himself. Well, he is hanging himself, and that's just it, How does he not realize that? On which show, KK? The one from yesterday, or was he on one today? You think, like, on Dolly's show? Was Dolly thinks that he called in his show and was using a voice changer? Wouldn't shock me. It's not like it's hard. Wouldn't shock me. Any person, legit, if you guys are watching a show and you hear a person say, I don't get, well, first of all, we always know he says crystal clear, Let me make this crystal clear. What's the other thing he always says as well? Let me set the record straight, or whatever he says. Anyways, if you hear someone say, well, I don't understand why people are blaming the parents. If you hear someone that's a male saying that, oh, was it on Dolly, KK? Then you pretty much know that that's going to be Christopher Proudfoot. Because what he did on Cluminati was, when he was pretending that whole sling blade or whatever it was just like, so this child's missing after I eat my mustard and biscuits, I just don't understand how anyone could sit here and blame these poor parents. Why would people do that when there's no, what's the word, evidence, no evidence behind it? Puke. So if you hear someone that kind of talks like that about it, you know darn well that's going to be him. You're right. And trust me, it's like, oh, because he talked on one guy's show, he why does he target women? Because he's a narcissist. Right? Again, it just matches in line with the freaking 5X's. All right? Like, it just goes, everything just falls in line with the whole narcissistic thing. How he, again, gaslighter, thinks that they're smarter. That's probably their main thing right there, that they think they're so smart. Well, I got nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon here. I mean, let me see. Look for Sebastian or F with some channels. Yeah, F with some channels seems funner. That's his mentality. And like I said, I wish people would just ignore him, just ignore him. He's useless. Focus on Sebastian. Focus on the more positive stuff. Like, that man's just shown he's a liar, he's negative, he's a manipulator, he's deceitful, he's just he's a con man. So he wants to, that's what made me kind of laugh, right? Get a load of that, okay? I already know JLR's past, okay? Most people by now should know JLR's past, right? And when he sit there and basically say like that JLR is not a good person, because he knows, because he's looked him up and stuff like that. Why is everyone? Well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black there, right? Right? Sitting there going, well, JLR has a, shady history, basically. I already know all about JLR. I Googled him. Great. Did you Google yourself too? Did you look up at yourself there? Mr. 5 divorces later and, freaking abuser and stuff like that? Really? The person that's playing pranks on channels to pretend like he's somebody else. That great guy? The narcissist who lies, the one that says that he took a polygraph test, the one that sits there and claims, no, I never said that it was on the first that I left. Oh, then Katie misspoke for you, I suppose, even though you're on the same darn show. I just wish that people would shut him down. Shut him down, because he wants the attention. He thinks he has, like, what does he have to offer? He's not going to offer up anymore. It's just going to be repetitive verbal shit coming out of his mouth. Well, let him troll. He's just right. Well, like I'm saying, let him troll. I just wish that hopefully people, when they feel like realize that he's in chat, whatever, you guys just spam the crap out of anything, right? That goes against him and stuff like that. He's not worth it. He's not worth it to me. Like I said, I wouldn't even have him up here. I couldn't. He's already proven that. He's already proven that he's a pussyfoot. Right. Well, we don't have people that call in, so we don't play that game because of trolls, to be honest with you. Maybe one day, but can't be asked. Either you can come and join us and hide behind an avatar, in a sense. It's the same deal for the most part, but It's just that it was clear as day his voice. But hey, I get it. You know, like there's the one chick from Delphi that uses voice changers and stuff like that. I'm just like, how low do you have to sink, to be honest with you? Seriously. It's ridiculous. In the scope of a missing child, it's the most absurd, disgusting, ridiculous thing to know a stepdad that he's playing games with people and he thinks that he's smarter than people, and he thinks that he's being hard done by. JL admits he in his wrongdoing. He does not hide it. Plus, he has earned his position because he's foot on the ground. Well, we call it boots on the ground, but foot on the ground is close enough. If he spent half the time looking for Sebastian as being an FBI's maybe, right? You know? Mm. And he was home in February, not away for a month. Yeah, well, he wasn't away for a month. And so like I was saying earlier, for anyone that didn't hear this, is that so on Nancy Grace, and I can't remember if it was Nancy Grace now because it's been said a few times. I know on Smiley's World. So when I was listening to Terry Lynn's thing from a month ago where he's beaking off and she's beaking off to him type of thing, because she's like, you know what, I'm done with your shit there, Christopher Proudfoot. Like, what kind of parent does this, blah, 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 type of thing, right? And then in that conversation during that, there was like, was it a freaking 11 hours? Can't remember. Anyways, long stream. But anyways, he's like, I just remember he distinctly goes, I didn't say I was gone for January 1st. And she's like, yes, you did, or something like that. He's like, no, I did not. I said that I was away at the beginning of February, but I never gave a date. Well, if not, doesn't matter. Like, I can't remember exactly how it was said on Nancy Grace, but I distinctly remember Katie Proudfoot saying from February 1st. February 1st. But if we listen to the neighbor that was talking on Crime Lines and whatever, that was saying that her friend works at the Texas Roadhouse and that 2 weeks prior to that would put it about the 2-week mark, like a week into February. So that could be true, that it was more around that, but they distinctly said February 1st. But I don't care, because honestly, you don't know what to believe because he's too busy lying, right? And Katie's too busy, freaking putting her head up his ass, pretty much. No offense, Katie, but you are. Like, remember after this was even comical itself. Remember when Katie did that one interview by herself? When people said she looked like she was reading, when some, people told her she was reading off of a script type of thing. Darn well she wasn't alone, right? But remember after all the stuff that was being said, like, Katie, why don't you speak? Why don't you speak? It's almost like Christopher and her, hey, I'll just sit here, but, you go on, you do that interview by yourself, and everyone kind of found that interview a little bit strange. Well, yeah, and then you haven't seen another one since then, It's because, again, they're trying to kiss the public's ass because of how it's being presented. I got told to shut up in her chat when I told him how I felt when he was on this woman's channel, that I was bashing them, but the truth hurts. Children don't just disappear. In her chat, I told them how I felt when he was on. Oh, you talking about in the Illuminati? Hey, Auntie Ree. He would never talk to him, right? If it was near the start and stuff like that, I had a lot of questions. And he was so full of crap, because he was like, if anyone has questions, just, just email me. What did he do? I realized that he wasn't answering me back because he blocked me. But I wasn't the only person he blocked, because I went on to my other account, my It's a Crime and Shame account, and I was like, during a live, and I was like, well, maybe he did block me. And here I was just thinking, like, dude, you told people they could message you, so I'm messaging you, right? And the thing was is that they were like decent messages, right? Like, they were just like, hey, Chris, a couple simple things, really. And then I realized that I was blocked, and I know he didn't really know me at the time at all. So it was one of those things that I think it wasn't just me. He just did it with a bunch of people. That's because he was too busy getting himself in trouble in Facebook groups. I think the more we let him talk, he's bound to slip up at some point. Honestly, I don't think he has anything, right? Anything he's doing, that TBI, if there's anything there, I just think, regardless, at the end of it all, not to say that he's involved, do a call and show. Hey, Chris, you want my voice changer? Can't remember what I was saying now. Gotta run. I will come back and rewatch the show. Thanks for being so welcoming. Thanks, Jules. You take care. KP always looks out of date and sedated. Yeah, she looks like a zombie, really. I don't know what's up with her. I'm not sure. There's just always some vibe that I get. And then when she brought up the mattress and nobody understood what Nancy was talking about, the neighbors made it call to CPs. And then just to hear that is heartbreaking. Oh, yeah. Like someone, like with that whole mattress. Like, I remember when that whole mattress thing kind of came about. I always remember thinking, like, where did that? Because I don't recall hearing it on one of the earlier lives they were on. I recall hearing about a bed, like that there was like a bed with a mattress in the garage. Like when I think it was when Nancy asked about furniture, but now it's been being said that, that didn't like the smell. I mean, it all just goes together. I think that the relationship, was basically turning south with Katie and Chris. Again, Christopher, he's a douche. He doesn't like Sebastian. In fact, none of his close, me and whatever were close. Bull. Christopher Proudfoot cares about himself, cares about his needs over anybody else's. And you can clearly see that in how he ends up in his lives. It's like I said, he's like clear as day. I don't think he gets that though. Oh, me? Pepsi Zero. I barely drink. I have drinks once in a while, but I barely drink. I did a 5-hour live yesterday though. Should be sipping on something harder. Miss Benzie. Which one? Oh, right there. Are you talking about that picture? Yeah. So handsome. I'm so cute. He will probably, honestly, he won't get far with me. I just could care less about the dude, honestly. Or I could care less about his Big Mouth sister either. In fact, I could care less about his Big Mouth family. Honestly, it's about, I probably wasted a lot of time even today, just even talking about him because it's so disgusting. At the end of the day, there's nothing I can keep going over with Sebastian, besides keep doing circles. There's nothing more, like, there's not really anything to add to it. No matter what scenario you look at, there's nothing to show that Sebastian left the house or that he did and he wasn't seen by nothing. Like, there's nothing. There's zero. This is the best hope here. I'm going to ask the chat again, since there's 145 people watching right now. And only 10 are from Twitter. That's okay. On there, hey, Twitter people. One, if you think that the person in the picture is Sebastian. Yeah, my husband doesn't like Coke Zero. So he likes Pepsi. Exactly, Debbie. Yeah, right. Okay. Christopher, you know what this is, right? Christopher. I feel like I'm saying it like a little boy's name. Christopher. Lollipop. And another woman, if you come across another woman, she's definitely got the big L, lollipop. Well, for Christopher, though, it's a different story. Loser. Loser. Breaks my heart, but to me, the reason they'll never find him is because Chris and Katie took him out of the garage. Is that what you think, Marta? You don't think this is him, Marta, by chance? Well, Marta, in this case, I'm going to hope that you're wrong and hope that I'm right and that this is Sebastian and that he's still alive. Fair enough. Come on now, 130 people. A few votes. I need to put mine in there. Don't forget, you guys, to hit that like button. Don't do it for me, please. I mean, do it, but please do it for Sebastian and simply keeping his story out there. The more, again, just a simple share that somebody else shared or a like that gets it into the algorithm more, that all counts, right? It all counts. Because this case is big, but it's not national. It's not national. Like, there's a lot of people that know about it, but it's not like certain cases. It's not like the Brian Koberger case or the, stuff like that. It's not national. It gets coverage, but you know how things are. We're 68 days in, right? Got to keep Sebastian out there until something happens that tells us where Sebastian is, or found. Special needs, yeah. Special needs when they pee themselves. They're scared, right? That's what I think too, Jenny. Yeah. That's what I think a little bit too. Who's making it? Who's making it? Pretty flowers, pretty flowers. But that, yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining today. Marta Pollock, I'm curious, how was he cremated? Thank you very much, Jules. 1,000,000 coffees. Actually, that's what I did this morning. I got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and I went over to Tim Hortons, crossed that little bridge, because there's like a little bridge in the apartments that we live in. There's that little tiny wooden bridge you go over, and then it takes you to like the little shopping plaza in a sense, and then there's a Timmy's and a Starbucks right across from each other. But anyways, so I went and got myself what did I get myself? A French vanilla coffee and a Canadian bagel. Yeah, Canadian. Oh, and I did get my husband some Timbits. Got my husband some Timbits on there. Your Twitter receipt is in. Right, Ben. No, I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I'm not gonna lie. Ever since like okay, so when I was at this point, I was like the floor manager or daytime manager at the hotel, and it was like we had this coffee machine, and it had coffee crisp coffee. There was coffee crisp. Anyways, a few more chocolate bar flavors, but my favorite one, mine and my husband's, was the coffee crisp. Oh my god! It was like a little espresso machine, a hot chocolate machine, and like you said, there was French vanilla, coffee crisp, and there's another one. Sometimes we'd have Kit Kat. Anyways, we could choose whatever flavors we wanted, right? Because I did the ordering. And then, we made the breakfast for the guests and stuff like that. Ooh, bacon and eggs and sausages. Oh my. We had it was a nice hotel. It was actually a very big wood type of hotel. Anyways, I missed that coffee crisp. Come home, Sebastian. Absolutely. Yep. Cancel Christopher Proudfoot and come home, Sebastian. Absolutely. Guess I should probably get going here in a couple minutes. I do have to work tomorrow. I'll probably chill and relax for a bit. I was doing dishes and stuff like that earlier, and my husband sold another one of his windmills, you know. So yeah, so he sold like 2 windmills this weekend and a lighthouse that he made. They're just wooden. His next project, he says, is he said it was going to be a wishing well, but then he changed his mind because too many people do wishing wells. He said, you know, like Little House on the Prairie, how they have the, you know, water wheel thing. So he's planning on making a house with the little water wheel on the side, and then using like the solar light again in the back of it so that it lights up the house, you know, type of thing. He just likes creating. His little truck that he made is really cute too. Are you getting hungry? Okay. Well, my husband made mashed potatoes, chicken. I'm not sure if it was mango chicken. It had some sort of flavoring. I could tell because he went over to IGA. Well, Fresh Street it's called now. And then I'm gonna yawn. I'm gonna try not to, but I'm gonna my peas and carrots. I wish they would show Seth the video. He would know instantly if it's Sebastian. Well, I mean, well, absolutely. This is why, you guys, this is why I kind of feel like this is Sebastian, because we haven't heard that it isn't. Why don't you notice the quietness going on about this whole picture thing? Don't you notice the weirdness about it? Right? Do you guys not feel the weirdness going around it? Thank you, Wild. Okay. I'm yawning. Whew, yeah. I have a son with Angel and syndrome. That passed 2013. I had him 17, wonderful years. He had a brain bleed, massive seizure. Oh, yeah, Jenny, so sorry. Again, you know, to me, children are, you know, our little angels, really, our gifts. You know, I only have the one son, and I always hated that because, you know, like my twin sister has 4 kids, right? And I know it's not the same, but think of Delphi when you have Anna, who had 1 child, Abby. Abby was murdered. Then Libby has a bunch of siblings. You know, somehow for me, I know it's not the way to look at it, but I kind of do. When a mother loses their only child, at least the other parent still has other siblings that she needs to take care of. And not that it takes away from the hurt and the pain, but at least there's other siblings. When a mother, parents have 1 child, that's it. That's it. That child's gone, they're gone. They got no more. You know? And that's how I always felt. You know? My twin, she loses a child, she still has 3 more. You know? Not to take away from the devastation. If I lose my child, I have nothing. I have no more. You know? So I've always felt a little extra sad for Anna because of the fact that Abby was her only child. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Obviously. Yeah. There you go. Lots of love coming your way there, Jenny. CP. Game over. Where's Sebastian? Yeah. There you guys go. Yeah. Sonny, you sound so much. Yeah. You know what? I think I took medicine, but I think it's like I took nasal spray this morning just because I hate it when I can't breathe out my nose. But I think it's finally winding down. Whereas my husband's only lasted a couple of days with some just a little bit of sniffling more. But yeah, I feel like I had a huge headache earlier. But anyways, it feels like the oh goodness. It feels like the congestion is finally coming to an end, perhaps. So I'm really like, it really sucked going into work sick all last week. You know, I just like to function. I would rather be at work than be at home being sick and stuff like that. But it sucks when you're sick and you go to work. You know, I'm not that type of person. You know, you don't start a job and then within the first month call in sick and stuff. I'm old school. I don't, you know, I'm old school that way. It's embarrassing. Sinuses are kicking my butt. Yeah. I'm not an allergy person. You know, it's just, oh, I got a bunch of stuff now. I got cough syrup. I got freaking tabs. I got cough medicine. I got nasal spray. Yeah, I don't have allergy issues. Thank you. My husband does. I don't get those. I better knock on wood. So my husband, like that pollen-y stuff, like most people, right? Because like when his allergies act up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm yawning still. When my husband's allergies act up and his eyes get so watery and you can just feel it when he's talking and he's so stuffy and I feel so badly because I don't suffer from that. I'm probably going to say in the next couple of weeks, I think, Ben, like Nadia, the girl that started with me, like she's starting hers this week, but Nadia's she's ahead of me for doing stuff like this before. Um, she also lives in Richmond, so she lives a good hour away from the job. I literally live 2 minute drive, 10 minute like a 10 to a 15 minute walk. So that when I was talking to Marianne, she had said, because I had asked her, and then she's like, yeah, you know, I just figured I'd give you extra time, which I need. I need it anyway, you know. So I mean, I'd rather be around people that when I need help right now, because I'm still learning it, the e-com part. So I'd rather, like I said, I'm just down the road from it. Nadia's like a whole hour away, so she'll be starting this week. I'll see her. Like there's a bunch of us, but you know, like I said, once I'm thinking about 2 weeks, perhaps. You know, either way, I mean, I'll get there. I would just be rather comfortable with the information so that I barely only need to ask for help when I truly need it, in a sense. So I'm fine with still another couple weeks perhaps in there. I mean, she might change it up. It might be next week for all I know. Mm-hmm. It was you. What did you say there? It was said that the reason that they did not show the video of Seth. Oh, well, right, that too. I mean, obviously, no, they could clip and edit. I mean, like that is kind of a silly answer, to be honest. I mean, like honestly, you think that the LE is going to be morons and not be able to edit out the part that Seth maybe only needed to see? So, you know, that's just a bunch of mumbo. That's just word salad right there. They ain't showing it to him because they don't want the information to get told. And again, they only give the parents so much information, right? Because it's under an investigation. So I do get that. Okay. Now y'all got me all yawning and stuff. You said yeah, so I gotta go too. It was nice chatting. Nice chatting to you, Half Pint. Yeah, you guys take care. Take care. You guys have a great night. I'm not sure what tomorrow will bring. Possibly something. I'm not really sure. Anyways, you guys, Ben, thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Again, please give the video a like and a share. Let's keep Sebastian's name out there. And again, especially this picture right here that we've been posting, guys, you know, because, hey, you never know, right? Maybe someone will see it and go, oh, hey, I know that lady. Maybe that lady's already said who she was to the alley. We don't know. Anyways, all we can do is do our part. Yeah, have a good night, you guys. Take care. All right. God bless. Take care, everybody. Thank you. And I just got to find the outro, I suppose, eh? There it is. Goodbye, guys.